Oh, it's a rough one here at the Morning Bullring. I am Bob Dillner, Casey LaJoy alongside of me, and man, it's been a long night and an early morning. We were at Cherokee Speedway for March Madness, and now here this morning. Heck, I was the latest one here.
Yeah, I know. And I'm not the morning person. I thought you were good. I was like 8 minutes late, and I'm like, oh, he's going to be on me. I know he is. And then I walk in, I'm like, Bob's not even here.
You got your coffee.
I do.
Yeah.
I drank like one sip.
And you got your Carolina hoodie on.
That's right.
Advanced to the Sweet 16, but so did Brandon Paul's Duke.
Yeah, and I'll keep repping this, even if we lose. I'll keep repping it.
That's it. I was gonna choose it, but I'm saving my UNC Tar Heels, shirt, hoodie, whatever I'm gonna wear for when they go to the Final Four, baby. That's what we're hoping for sure.
You think they're not going to go any farther than that?
Well, I just said we get to the Final Four and we'll rep it at that point. So a Sweet 16 is like, whatever. You're a Tar Heels fan.
Yeah,
it doesn't make a difference.
I don't think we're going all the way.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
I don't think so.
You think old Zion and Duke is going to kick some butt?
No. They're not going. They're not going all the way either.
Taco, Mark Keeler, Taco from UCF, Alec Jorgensen's UCF. They almost took down Duke yesterday.
Well, I pulled up this morning. I pulled up the results on Twitter, and I saw 77-76. And I said, you got to be kidding me. So then I tried to pull up some highlights, and, yeah, Duke barely squeaked it out. Of course, Brandon's going to take a win as a win anytime. But, that was a close one. So it's they made it further than they ever have before in the tournament. So that's a good sign for them for things to come.
Absolutely. We got a lot to talk about here today on the Morning Bullring. Of course, this show all about short track racing. It's free. It's raw. You could tell we just woke up and got out of bed, brushed our teeth. Yes, at least we did brush our teeth. Casey LaJoy has his coffee, and now we're talking some short track racing. And, of course, there's so much to talk about, to tell you the truth. This past weekend was a big weekend for both the dirt and the pavement scene. Yesterday we were at March Madness, Cherokee Speedway. JD, Superman, Jonathan Davenport kicked some butt there, and, it was a neat show. And it was a neat show because of the atmosphere at Cherokee Speedway, just because a packed grandstand, dirt late model racing in the daytime, and Superman got his cape out, and nobody had the kryptonite for him on Sunday in Gaffney, South Carolina.
The music started playing, and you started to ramp it up as it went.
That's a throwback to the podcast right there.
Yeah.
Anytime Davenport's mentioned, we got to play the Superman music.
It was cool. I got a good view for the whole thing, even though I got sandblasted. You should have seen my shower when I got home.
Yeah, but what lesson did you learn?
Always have goggles?
No. Always go to the bathroom before the day goes.
I did. I just drank like 4 bottles of water.
Okay, yeah. All of a sudden, Casey, right before the feature, says, hey, can I come down off the lift? He's in the lift in turn number 1, camera 3. And I'm like, yeah, sure, just make it quick because the Southern All-Stars are coming out, the feature's coming out. So he comes down, he goes to the men's room, comes back, and then all of a sudden he goes, guys, the lift won't go back up. I think it's out of fuel.
So, yeah, it was a nightmare. We refueled this thing, and I think it takes gasoline, and we had diesel. So there's problem number 1. Problem number 2 was it runs also on propane.
Yes.
So that was kind of our saving grace, but it wouldn't fire up on propane. So we had like this banded together team of rednecks that came through and helped us fire this thing up. I know. They came through and helped us fire this thing up in the nick of time. I got it up, and then as soon as I got up to where I needed to be, I shut it off. I'm like, I'll figure out how to get down later.
Hey, you should have seen me. Mark Keeler, myself, and Zach Evans were setting up on Friday at Cherokee Speedway. I had my camo hoodie on. I was ready to go. By the way, I want to get Alec Jorgensen over at the mic where Mark is, and then we'll go straight to the news. But, Alec, I just want to tell you, I was on your team yesterday, okay? UCF, the Knights all the way. Taco, BS foul right at the end, okay? And then, the 2-1, that's just ridiculous. The refs gave the win to Duke. Your comments?
Of course, they want UCF to fail. They want Duke to go forward. And, at the end of the day, a win for Zion is a win for the NCAA, right?
That's strong words.
You stay right there. We should find out what Brandon Paul thinks about this.
Gosh.
Let's go to the PFC Performance Hotline. Yes, on the Morning Bullring, we're talking about college basketball, NCAA, March Madness. Brandon Paul, your thoughts on Alec Jorgensen's comments?
Well, I've heard of people drinking coffee. I've heard of people drinking juice, but I've never really heard of people drinking wine in the morning.
Oh,
He's had that line prepared for a while, probably for me, but he uses it on Alec.
What do you think about that, Alec?
Well, everyone knows Brandon's the biggest bandwagon fan there is in Speed 51. So, going with the Patriots, going with Duke. I see how it is.
I don't know about that.
Go with the winning teams.
I disagree with that.
I still don't know
Brandon's
how he
anything
got
but bandwagon.
Duke. I still don't know how he likes
Yeah.
Duke.
How do you like Duke?
How do I like Duke? Well, I'm not going to like the Maine Black Bears basketball, so I kind of had to pick a school.
Why not?
Maine isn't exactly known for basketball. I don't think our men's team has been to the tournament and probably since I was born. So you kind of have to adapt the team. And sure, Duke wins. Yeah, you can call me a little bit of a bandwagon fan, but hey, I support them whether they win or lose. So.
If you want to call him a bandwagon fan, at least he sticks with his bandwagon teams, okay? And I don't buy the fact that he is a bandwagon fan by any stretch of the imagination. Dude, you need to rescue us. We're like a couple minutes into the show. The clock's in a different spot. It's 7:07 in the morning.
You want to move it closer?
Yes, please move it in front of the monitor or something because I can't read it from there. But put us on the straight and narrow. What's going on in the world of short track racing? To the editor, the question is posed of Speed 51.
Well, I mean, there's obviously a lot that's going on in the short track racing world. We're really starting to get into the thick of things here. I just realized that this is, and I know you guys have been going obviously a lot longer, so this isn't a pity me or anything, but this last weekend was the last one that I'm not going to be at a racetrack in a while. And that's crazy when you look outside and see snow on the ground. But you have Richmond this weekend, and then you get right into the icebreaker at Thompson. So we're really starting to get into the thick of things. And in another region that's going to be kicking things off soon, the Midwest region. And I thought a cool story that maybe got overlooked because it doesn't involve drama or anything like that last weekend, or last week, I should say. The Joe Shear Classic for the ARCA Midwest Tour this year. They announced a really cool program, kind of along the lines with what the Speed 51 Super Select does, with giving 4 free tires to the first 40 entries, paid entries, for the Joe Shear Classic at Madison this year. And that's obviously one of their big races up there in Wisconsin. So I thought that was a pretty cool program, and it works because you also get the paid entries in, which I think is a huge thing. A lot of series, or I don't want to say a lot, but some series don't do that. So when you don't have paid entries, it's harder to promote, and it's harder to get those drivers in there and promote that they're going to be at your racetrack and at your event. So I think all around that's a pretty cool program. And I honestly, I really like following racing in the Midwest as far as the racing goes. It's some of my favorite racing to watch in the country. So interesting to see how that event does this year, the Joe Shear Classic at Madison.
Hey, just to clarify, and my wife and I were traveling last week when that came out. I think the situation was, with the news breaking, was, what is it, a set of tires for the first 40 entries for Madison for the Joe Shear Classic? Am I correct in that, for the ARCA Midwest Tour?
Yes, 4 free bonus tires for the first 40 paid entries for that race.
That is pretty cool. Kudos to Greg McCarns. Heck, if we have a guest that maybe falls through the cracks, we might give a crank call this morning to Greg McCarns, because he does a great job, honestly, with the ARCA Midwest Tour and everything going on there. You know, Brandon talked about some of the racing getting started there in the Midwest, the Northeast. The SRL Tour was in competition this past weekend. Out west, a couple weeks, we got Carolina Clash this week at Fayetteville Motor Speedway. That'll always be good, right on I-95. I mean, you can see the racetrack from I-95 there, just around the Fayetteville area, of course, because it's Fayetteville Motor Speedway. But then, I look at the schedule, and it's going to be good week a couple weeks from now, that first weekend in April. On the dirt side of things, you have the Ultimate Supers at Volunteer Speedway, Bulls Gap, Tennessee. That's on a Thursday night, April 4th. And then Toccoa, Georgia for Fast Track, the big pro late model, crate late model class on the dirt, going to kick start their season that Saturday night on April 6th. So a lot going on. There's a lot more events to talk about, too. Listen, if you have something for us this morning, certainly ask away on social media. Let us know what you want to talk about here today. Let us know what you want to ask myself, Casey LaJoy. Anything is open. It could be short track racing, of course. It could be modifieds, late models, dirt late models, you name it. A lot of racing going on around the country already, as Brandon Paul stated. Maybe you can ask Casey LaJoy about his mighty Tar Heels. We'll leave Duke out of the conversation. But Brandon Paul, what else has captured your fancy a little bit, at least headed into this new week?
Well, I mean, coming into this week, I mean, a lot of focus. There's two races in the asphalt late model world that really, I think, a lot of people are going to be focusing on this weekend. The first being the Road to the Snowball Derby, beginning at Five Flags Speedway in Pensacola. That's obviously a big deal. The season opener, the first chance for drivers super late model drivers to hit the track at Five Flags this year, following last year's Snowball Derby. Obviously, you're gonna likely see your big names there. Defending Blizzard Series champion Casey Roderick, Bubba Pollard, who's once again, no surprise, red hot, coming off 2 straight Cars Tour victories. He'll likely be there, and he's obviously, his resume at Five Flags speaks for itself. And also some other cool stories going into that Five Flags race. Dennis Prunty from Wisconsin is making the trip down to Five Flags to get prepared and start testing for the Snowball Derby, hoping for a better run when he goes back in December. And also a guy like Anthony Sergi, who you haven't seen a lot at Five Flags Speedway, teaming up with Ben Kennedy Racing. He will be at Five Flags on Friday. So some cool stories, and also the rookie battle. We're going to be touching on that on Speed 51 later in the week, but I think you're going to have a pretty interesting rookie battle shaping up in the Southern Super Series this year with Giovanni Bramante and Jet Nolan. Those two youngsters are in very good equipment, and I think they're definitely going to put on a show throughout the year battling for that rookie crown.
I'm loving what I'm seeing out of the Southern Super Series presented by Sunoco. That all kicks off this Friday in terms of the Blizzard Series at Five Flags Speedway. Southern Super Series season opener was at the Rattler a couple of weeks ago. Race number 2 in the Southern Super Series, the mini series, the 4-race series for the Blizzard Series at Five Flags Speedway this Friday night. That will be a live pay-per-view broadcast on speed51.com. We hope that you can make it to Five Flags Speedway, but obviously, listen, if you're in the Midwest, you're in the Northeast, even if you're in the Carolinas and you got a job and you can't make it down there, Casey, it's a good way to catch all the action.
Yes, it is, and it's always great racing there from Five Flags on any given night, whether it's the Allen Turner Pro Late Models, the Southern Super Series. They always put on a great show, and last year I got to go to every single one, and that was awesome. This year, I don't know if I'm going to the first one. We're unsure where I'm going yet.
Hey, Brandon, do you want Casey LaJoy with you at Richmond, or should I send him with Mark to Pensacola? Because we're kind of juggling things right now, trying to figure out personnel at each place. Where do you want him?
As far away from me as possible.
I knew it. Yep.
Yeah, actually, I might, just because of that, I might put you guys together.
Yeah, he's going to do it. I'll bring some popcorn.
It could get pretty ugly because it's likely that both UNC and Duke might be playing that day. So
oh, boy. Yeah.
could get ugly.
Is he going to eat the popcorn on the roof?
Listen, we'll be too busy watching racing and doing other things.
Oh, my gosh. The Commonwealth Classic up there at Richmond Raceway, that's going to be a blast because there are so many different divisions. You have the Modifieds, you have the Pro All-Star Series Supers, you have, I believe, is it Compacts? I know you have the ACT Tour. So much racing going on there at Richmond this weekend.
Yeah, it is. And they really, you mentioned the grassroots divisions, the street stocks and the mini stocks with the Northeast Mini Stock Tour and the Mass Street Stocks. That's going to be a show. Just with those two divisions alone, I think they're up to 50 mini stock entries and over 30 street stocks. And then, of course, you add in the super late models. the ACT late models, which I've been really shocked to see how much support they have received. 37 teams currently on the entry list from Quebec to Vermont to Connecticut, everywhere in between. Teams that race those ACT late models are really supporting the show. And then, of course, you have the 2 super late model divisions, the Open and the Crates, 2 races, both paying $7,000 to win. And they have 37 super late models entered between those 2 divisions right now. And I'm sure they're going to have more added throughout the week and on race weekend. So I think it's going to be an exciting weekend. I know I'm looking forward to it. I was a little disappointed when Mother Nature got in the way last year, last October, I believe it was. So I'm looking forward to it, and it should definitely be a good show there at Richmond.
Hey, got the questions coming in on social media, and Jimmy Smith just chimed in, and this question actually is one that Brandon Paul can answer, and we'll have you do it quickly because we're going to get to the news next with Kendra Adams. I want to know, or Jimmy Smith wants to know, any chance of getting a Tanner Thorson on the show or an update in terms of a story this week to see his progress after his rough highway accident a couple of weeks ago. And the good thing is I see Tanner Thorson has made his way back to the racetrack, just watching racing, not racing anytime soon.
Yeah, we actually, you'd be better asking the human alarm clock, Zach Evans, because he actually woke Tanner Thorson up last week, not knowing the West Coast difference that he'd be out there. But we weren't able to reconnect with him after Zach woke him up, and obviously I'm just kidding with Zach. It was a funny story. We're trying to work on it. Obviously, you mentioned that Tanner was at the racetrack, so we do know that, but we are working to get an update from Tanner Thorson on his condition and seeing maybe when he may be getting back into a race car.
All right, Brandon Paul, we appreciate you being on the show. It's early, but we're already talking short track racing. Make sure you spread the news about the morning Bullring because we want everybody watching this show. Dirt or pavement, it doesn't matter. 100% short track racing here on Speed 51, especially with the morning Bullring. Casey, it's time to bring the lady on. She's only got 2 more weeks here on the show.
2 more.
What do you think? Brandon Paul, by the way, hung up. Yeah. Mark forgot to mute the microphone there. Yep.
That happens.
All right, toss it to her, would you?
Kendra,
give me a grand thing. Come
that was
on.
a weak toss.
Yes, do it again.
It's too early for a
do it again.
strong toss.
I got all hyped up for Superman.
Give me the music. Give me the music. There it is. Coming up next, we have Kendra Adams with the news.
So we're going to jump into the news, but this is all dirt right now. You said dirt, asphalt doesn't matter. This verse.
Asphalt.
All right, yep. I like how you forgot to unmute your mic there, Bob.
Yes.
We saw that. So Carolina Speedway on Friday night, Steve Minall took home the win in the Fuel Racing Series, along with the points lead after their season opener. Adam Yarbrough had an impressive run during the first half of the feature before retiring early from the race with a bad fuel pump.
Do you know his nickname? Adam Yarbrough?
I don't.
It's the Denver Dirt Slinger. You should know it.
Whoops, that's $2 in the jar.
The Denver Dirt Slinger. He's from Denver, North Carolina.
It's good to know.
Yeah, there
Cool.
you go. Put that in your
I'll
jar
put
of
that
nuggets.
in my nugget jar. There you go. And over at County Line Raceway, the Ultimate Super Late Models took to the track for 40 laps and a $40,000 payday. It was $4,000. It wasn't 40. Just made a mistake there.
I mean, you're up.
Yeah. And Dustin Mitchell took the lead and never looked back on that field Saturday night.
Keep it going, but
All right. You usually interject here, Bob. I'm just waiting for your...
no, it's too early. Too early to interject, honestly. Yeah, I
That's
can't even
fine.
hit my button.
March Madness at Cherokee Speedway, which was rescheduled from its original date of March 3rd to yesterday, March 24th. Jonathan Davenport swept the day in the Southern All-Star Series with the top times trial spot, top spot in the heat, and the win during the 60-lap feature. Davenport seemed to grab that wow, I want to give them more money than they're actually given. $12,000
You're generous.
Yeah.
with ease after controlling the feature from flag to flag.
There you go.
He did control it flag to flag.
JD, baby.
And-
JD.
And just so everyone knows, all of the highlights for all of these races can be found on the 51 network, and as well as the enhanced broadcast for yesterday's show. That will be May 15th at 7 p.m. on MAV TV.
There you go. That's got to be a lot of fun. Short Track America, 20 races strong this year on MAV TV, and we are proud to bring you that here with Speed51.com. Got some social coming in. I was taking a look at that. You can see what Kendra was talking about what is on our homepage right now with Speed 51. You can check out the replay from March Madness yesterday, the highlights of Hagerstown in Maryland from the Ultimate Northeast opener, a lot of dirt late model racing, the car store in action. Of course, we're live with the Morning Bullring right now. Make sure you spread the news. And folks, if you want to sponsor the Morning Bullring, certainly do that. We can certainly enjoy that because we need some support from you. This show is free. It's for everybody. It's short track discussion. But in terms of some of the short track discussion right now, Richard Deal came on and said, hey, cabin fever this weekend, Champion Racing Association, Lucas Oil Raceway. Hopefully the weather is going to be good because it could be awfully cold in Indianapolis. But that's always a lot of fun with the modifieds, the street stocks, the late model sportsmen, you name it there, the compacts on that half-mile oval there outside of Indy.
Yeah, it's always it's such a great racetrack, and I wish I don't know if I've been there. I know I've been there, but like not in the past like friggin' 15 years at least. I mean, I really want to go back. You haven't sent me there.
This is unfiltered.
I said friggin'.
Yeah,
well, double down on it. There you go.
That's not a cuss word.
It's okay. It's okay. We're on the internet, right? You see just about everything on the internet these days. Hey, we're going to have to work on sending you there because that is a cool racetrack. And we got the Super Select coming up. I believe it's September 7th for the Super Select. And once again, we're inviting all the winners in terms of super late model racing to Lucas Oil Raceway for that winner-take-all event. At least $12,000 will be on the line that particular day. Second place plays nothing. Second place is the first loser. Bottom line. Hey, Steve Tapley, who is Ben Rose hauler driver, getting on social as well, saying he's watching before heading to the shop to load up for the Commonwealth Classic at Richmond International Raceway. Be safe. Be safe, for sure. We're driving down the road.
Well, I might see him there. I might not.
Yeah, we don't know yet.
We don't know. It's in the air.
One thing we're going to do on this show that we haven't mentioned yet, and this is what the remainder, for the most part, of this show is all about. The Kawicki Driver Development Program. A few weeks back, narrowed it down to a group of great race car drivers to the semifinalist zone. Now, seven is, of course, very important because Alan Kawicki was number 7, the former NASCAR Cup Series champion. Certainly miss him for sure. Died in a tragic crash years ago on his way to Bristol Motor Speedway. But his legacy continues through this driver development program where this group and the Kawicki Driver Development Board, they really analyze the stats, the social media prowess, the off-track stuff that they do to make up a group of 7 drivers that make up this program. And they each get $7,777 to go racing with this year. Well, guess what? We're going to call these drivers here today to let them know that they have made it into the program. We'll have that first call on the other side of the break. Make sure you go to Speed 51. Check out all the highlights and all the stories from this past weekend on Speed51.com.
He'll win it. PFC Brakes. More championships than any other. From late models to modifieds, on pavement and dirt, with at-track service like no other. Success means no compromises.
A 5th win of the year for Ty Majeski. He'll take it.
Lighter, stiffer, cooler, quicker. PFC Brakes. The secret is, it's quicker.
The Boars Compact Touring Series is a 4-cylinder front-wheel drive mess, and it's coming to a track near you. A dozen races in 3 different states in 2019 will keep the four-cylinder fans buzzing with excitement. The famed Lucas Oil Raceway in other trips too.
Anderson, Shady Bowl, Toledo, Fairfield,
Winchester, plus it's Bristol, baby, returns on May 31st.
Race fans, if you enjoy grassroots short track racing, then Richmond Raceway is the place for you this weekend. It's the inaugural Past Commonwealth Classic under the lights on Saturday, March 30th at Richmond Raceway. See North America's best short trackers, including past super late models, the ground-pounding tour type modifieds, act late models, street stocks, and mini stocks. It's the stars and cars of short track racing this Saturday afternoon. Racing for nearly 400 laps of intense action. And fans, every grandstand ticket gets you closer to the action in the DC Solar Fan Grounds. For more info, go to ProAllStarSeries.com. Don't miss it.
Do not miss the Commonwealth Classic for the Pro All-Star Series and just tons of racing at Richmond International Raceway. That is this weekend, and we will be there with Speed 51. But no pay-per-view broadcast, no stream for that one. You're going to have to get to the racetrack and see all the action live. Of course, we'll have all the highlights and so forth on Speed 51.
Yes, we will. And we got a lot of good highlights right now on the network. I was watching the Northeast, the Ultimate Northeast Series, and that was a great. Did you watch it?
I didn't watch it yet.
It was great race.
When did you watch it, by the way?
Last night at like 1 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
When we got home.
Because I was going to say
you should watch that so we have questions asked.
You did your job,
Yeah.
and that's what you do, and that's why I love you so much.
Thank
But I went to bed about 1 o'clock and slept till about 2:30, and then woke up and really couldn't fall asleep again until about 5 o'clock. Then fell asleep until about 6:15. Hopped in the shower and then came to the Studio 51 here in Concord, North Carolina.
Yeah, I was. I woke up at 5:45. I went to bed like 1:30. Woke up 5:45, and somehow was still like 8 minutes late.
You did your hair.
Yeah.
You know, you got the WD-40.
Yeah.
Or the,
you know
or
what
the
takes
10,
the longest is
10W40 in it?
making the coffee. Because
yeah.
it's 2 K-cups.
You know, I tried to, even though I was running late, you know, my wife, she's a sweetheart, and she takes care of the kids. And yesterday, I really didn't talk to her too much. I'm like, you know what, I was about to leave, and I'm like, you know what, let me make the coffee real quick because I want her to wake up and be able to smell the aroma and know that even though she's got 2 cranky kids on her hand, she at least has the coffee. So hopefully, you know, I paid her back a little bit.
Yeah. You know, I'm going to have to start learning how to do that because I just got engaged.
Yes, congratulations.
So I was gone for 2 weeks. You didn't even say anything.
You know what? I should have, and I forgot. It's been 2 weeks.
I know.
You know?
I was driving here this morning. I'm like, it's been a while since I made this drive this early. And then I was like, yeah, I haven't been here in 2
And
weeks.
she's a sweetheart, too.
She is.
You're lucky.
Bubba Pollard keeps going out of his way to tell me I outpunted my coverage.
You did.
I know.
Absolutely.
I tell him he did the same thing.
Yeah. Yes, yes. You guys are very lucky. I'm very lucky for sure. So, you know, I'm very happy for you.
Thank you.
It was a neat little engagement photo on Twitter.
Yeah.
And I was with you all day yesterday, so I just felt like we hadn't been apart for too long.
Yeah, quick story. I was supposed to have a picture like me on the knee, you know, like the traditional photo. The lady kind of messed up. It was like a random lady that we were in downtown Savannah, and we were in a square, and we needed a picture. I was like, we need to get a picture, and I was just going to do it right there. Well, the lady closed the phone out, like on the last picture, and then I did it, and she's like, I didn't get it. I'm like, it's like when you double trigger something on. I was like, oh no! So we just had that selfie.
Well,
We
hey,
just took a selfie.
yeah, but you had the long enough arms to get it done. So
Yeah.
I was impressed. But so congratulations to the both
Thank
of you
you
for sure.
Thank you.
And we're going to congratulate some other people with the
Yeah.
Kawiki Driver Development Program. What's that, Mark?
It's the Mighty Mouse thing.
Oh, it's the Mighty Mouse.
I
There
was
you
the same
go.
thing this morning. I'm like, what is this cheesy stuff going on? And then he's like, oh, this is for the Kawiki. I'm like, oh, now I feel bad.
Yeah, you should. I understand it now. I'm so used to at the KDDP banquet that we have every year at the Charlotte Motor Speedway and the Speedway Club. They play it in such a majestic way.
Yeah.
That band that they have there that Tom Roberts gets, it's a lot better than this.
Yeah, I feel like if we had a majestic band,
I had the non-instrumental version, but it was super like powerful. It would have been like really in your face. So this is just a music bed kind of Mighty Mouse.
See, I like that though. It just knocks your socks off.
No matter what.
No matter what.
Exactly. I can't win.
Are you ready to make the first phone call?
I think so.
Let's do that. First phone call.
And this is live on the air.
Yes,
we're doing
live.
this.
So if they curse and say, hey, why are you calling me so early? We apologize for sure. But 7 people will make the Kawicki Driver Development Program this year, $7,777. And then I forget what the figure is. Maybe Tom Roberts, if he's listening or watching. Basically what it is, the champion gets the $7,777, I think, times 7. So it's like $60-something thousand that the champion will get at the end of the year, and that's pretty incredible. And what these drivers do, not just their on-track prowess, but what they do off the racetrack is incredible to impress the voting board. I mean, it's amazing. You look at Brett Yackey and what he did, and Justin Mondyke, who finished first and second in the points last year. More than 100 hours of community service, a lot of charitable functions and so forth. It's neat to see these drivers really go out of the way to help the community.
Yeah, and it's a great program. The way that they give back to the drivers. There's not a lot of programs like this out there. There's, I would argue to say it's one of the only ones left. And it's just cool to see how hard the drivers have to work, but they're working for a great cause. They're working to better themselves. It really could push their drivers and their careers to a way better spot than they're in now.
Are you calling? Come on, Mark.
He's slacking. Well, there we go.
It's ringing.
Let's just wait. It's like the music going to break. Push us, baby. Push us. Otherwise, we'll go way too late. All right, let's find out what's going to happen here. First call of the morning, Kawicki Driver Development Program on the line.
I think we'll get a voicemail.
I think we're going to get a voicemail here.
I don't know.
Let's find out. It's early enough.
Oh.
Hello.
Carson Quapple, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. How are you guys?
Are you awake right now, or are you still waking up?
Barely awake. I just walked into class.
Okay, you walked into class. You're answering in school. I love it. We were trying to call you early enough to let you know that you are part of the Kawicki Driver Development Program in 2019. A big congratulations.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. This is such a great opportunity for me. It's pretty cool.
So, in terms of trying to go after this, and we've seen your tweets and so forth, what does it mean, this Kawicki Driver Development Program, for you, your dad, and your family to be part of it this year?
Oh, it's just great. Dad's from Dad's from up north, Midwest area. Was a fan of Kawicki, so it's just pretty cool. I'm a fan of them. I race up there where the program is. I think it's pretty cool.
Hey, you got a couple of wins last year in the late model world, an ARCA Midwest Tour win, and then a Tundra win. What's going on in terms of your late model racing this year?
We're going to run the whole ARCA Midwest Tour Series and some bigger races here and there, like Slinger Nationals maybe, hopefully. Our late model stock, we're probably going to try to run the Orange County 30,000 win race coming up here, but we're not sure about that one yet. But the whole tour and some other big races, and that'll be about it.
Yeah, we're all excited for that race at Orange County. And Carson, you've been really having some fun at Millbridge, racing with your brother. I know that's been fun. How much are we going to see you at Millbridge Speedway? Are you going to try to be there every Wednesday?
I'm not going to try to be there for every Wednesday for points, but I'll try to run as much as I can with the schedule that I have for Super Late models. Super Late models would definitely be first, but then it'll be probably outlaw carts will be my second priority. So we're not going to run for points, but we're going to run whenever we can.
You're a 2-time Open champion at Millbridge Speedway. How has that been a good training ground for you, Carson?
It just prepares me for how the car is going to be. I can run the car loose and be sideways, and it's not a problem because I know I'm a dirt racer. I know how to race, so it's just pretty cool. It's really easy to drive the Super Late model whenever you race dirt and you've already been sideways. So yeah.
Yeah, we saw that on night number 1 of Speed Weeks at New Smyrna. You were sideways the entire night. I don't know if you saw it, Bob.
I saw the highlights.
Yeah, well, I don't
sure.
think you were there yet, but yeah, sideways and leading at the same time.
It was a lot of fun. Hey, you got a lot of car control, I'll give you that. What's it like working with Toby Noodleman and that team? Because Toby has really kind of just helped a lot of young drivers. Becca Caston, when he was crew chief for my effort in the super late model world, to Ty Majeski and so forth. What has he taught you the most that maybe that you don't want to listen to your dad all the time, and I'm sure your dad's taught you some good stuff too, but how has he been like that father figure for you in terms of late model and learning the ropes of late models?
He just teaches me how to drive the car. All Ty's mentality, transfer that over to me, so I understand how Ty drives it and how the car was good for him. So he just mentors me on how to drive the car and what the car does and what you do to make the car change. And it's just, he's just so good. So you got to be up on the wheel. There is no excuses whenever he's the crew chief.
Is he always easy on you?
No, not really.
What's an example that you can give? And I think I remember something from Speed Weeks that you can give how Toby is kind of hard on you, but at the same time, it's for the right purpose.
Yeah, I really can't name a date in Speed Weeks, but there's a few times in Speed Weeks our car wasn't really right, and he didn't think I was driving it right, so he taught me how to drive it right. So.
What about your dad? Of course, former NASCAR Gander Outdoors Truck Series champion. How is he like to have him and know what he did, Carson, and then obviously try to help you too? How does he balance that dad situation of being maybe too rough on you and really being a good tutor for you as you continue to climb up the ranks?
He balances it pretty well. He helps me with all the Super Late model stuff. We work together in the shop with Outlaw carts and the Super Late models. So it's pretty balanced, really. It doesn't feel much different when you're at the track, father to crew chief. So he does a good job, transferred all his knowledge over to me so I can be that good.
Hey, speaking of balance, you're trying to balance racing and going to school. You're still in public school, is it?
Yeah, I'm still in public school. I'm hoping to get out of it this year, though.
What grade are you in?
10th grade.
Now paint the picture for us. Where exactly are you in school?
Oh, man, I don't know. That's a big school. I'd say somewhere in one of the hallways of the main campus.
Are we preventing you from getting into class? Has school started yet? We want to find out.
You don't need to prevent me.
So you're not in trouble yet, right? Or you?
No, I don't think so.
I think he's saying he's going to stay in the hallway on the phone for as long as he can.
Oh my gosh! To continue this legacy of Alan Kowicki with this driver development program, what has your dad told you about Alan Kowicki and what he remembers of him growing up and being able to do this now to continue that legacy?
He's just told me all about him because he was inspired by Alan whenever he started racing. He came up with nothing, so he had T-shirts of him, all that. He was a fan of him, really, and it just made him successful because Alan's mentality. He saw it and he really liked it, so he went and got it with no money and really nothing.
I'll tell you what, it's going to be fun watching you in the late model wars. But I want to know, I really want to know, what class are you supposed to be in right now?
Spanish 1.
Spanish 1. I remember those days. Okay.
Billy La Bufanda.
Can you give me a clean sentence in Spanish? Are you to that level yet?
The only one I know is, may I go to the bathroom?
Do you use that a lot to get out of class?
Actually, I really don't. I just know it. I don't know why.
Yeah, I took 4 years of Spanish, and I still can't say anything. No. So I don't know what it is.
I know small phrases. That's about it.
Yeah, exactly. But
no bueno.
Yeah, no bueno.
Exactly.
I know como te llama, right?
I don't know what that means.
I don't either.
What is your name?
What is your name?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Me llamo Roberto is what I would say.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
That's my name is something.
You could say Mark is chiquita pero ponderosa. He's tiny but powerful.
Wow. Thanks, Case.
Wow. Well, Carson, what is up first for you on the racing docket? Like, what does your calendar look like right now?
Right now, we're just gonna. I think we don't really know what we're gonna run for the first race, but for sure, the first race will be one of the tour races. If there's any big shows before that, we'll run those. But if anything, it'd be the tour. Will be the first race if nothing else is planned.
I know you got I don't know if it's on your calendar, but you got the Icebreaker coming up at Dell's in a couple of weeks. That'll be a good time for sure. You're planning on running the Red, White, and Blue Series, I am told, at Kaukauna, Wisconsin International Raceway. What do you think about that place, in terms of what you've been told, what you've seen, what you've felt, and so forth? I know we have a lot of highlights on the Speed 51 Video Network.
It seems like a pretty straightforward racetrack. The first time I ever raced up here was in Kelly Byers' truck wait, what track would you say again?
We're talking about Kaukauna, Wisconsin International Raceway.
Oh, yeah. I've raced a super there, actually. I liked the track. It was pretty cool, I thought. I think we ran pretty good there last time we raced, so I'm pretty up to speed on that track, so we'll be good, I believe.
It's got a cool name.
Kaukauna?
Yeah, it does have a cool
yeah,
name.
I love saying it.
Yeah,
it's fun.
They say that in Spanish?
I think
that is
it might be
Spanish, kind of.
Yeah.
or at least it's Wisconsinite.
Yeah, Wisconsinite.
Something.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Carson, get back to class. Don't get into trouble. Make sure you learn some Spanish, and it could be good for you down the road someday. We appreciate you being on the show, and congratulations as part of the Kawicki Driver Development Program.
Thank you, guys.
You got it. Carson Quapple in school here in North Carolina, and I think we got him to miss a little class. Hopefully he doesn't get in trouble with his teacher.
Yeah, I don't think he minded it at all.
No,
I think he's like, I'm going to stay out here on this phone and be like, yo, sorry, I'm big time.
When you asked him where he was in the school, I thought he was going to say hiding from teachers or administrators because we didn't even know what hallway he was in. He was just ducking people.
Well, I think he was half asleep, honestly.
It sounded like it.
I will say, Travis, you need to get him some coffee or something in the morning.
Right.
Oh, my. And, the good thing about this program for a kid like Carson, who's just 16 years old, is the fact that we know that he's talented behind the wheel. I think he's going to get more and more talent, off the racetrack as well. I mean, listen, you can hear from that interview. It's early. He's in school. But still, in terms of speaking on camera, this will give him some tools in terms of learning and getting that experience more and more. His dad's a very good talker. But his dad was a little bit, to some degree reserved when he first broke in, and then he got better and better. And I think we're going to see the same progress out of Carson Quapple.
Right, and you need it nowadays. We see drivers that progress, like Conor Krezik's one that's really gotten better talking to the camera. I remember when I first interviewed him, it was like pulling teeth to get a couple words out of him, and now he's just fine on camera. So I think it's one of those things that they'll learn the more they do it, and this program will definitely help them for sure.
What is the biggest thing that you've seen out of Carson Quapple in terms of his talent?
I've seen him at Millbridge, running beginner box stocks all the way up to open, and just to see his progression. I didn't get to actually see his first super late model races, but I got to see him running at speed weeks, and just to see his patience. I think he came out early swinging, and then that kind of slowed him down for a few days. But he's a poised driver. He's definitely he stays calm under pressure and has really good car control.
I like what I see out of Carson Quapple. Definitely tons of talent behind the wheel. We are announcing the KDDP finalist here. The members that will be part of the program in 2019. We'll continue to call them on the other side of the break here on the Morning Bullring.
Brakes. More championships than any other. From late models to modifieds, on pavement and dirt, with at-track service like no other. Success means no compromises.
A fifth win of the year for Ty Majeski. He'll take it.
Lighter, stiffer, cooler, quicker. PFC Brakes. The secret is, it's quicker.
The Boars Compact Touring Series is a 4-cylinder front-wheel drive mess, and it's coming to a track near you. A dozen races in 3 different states in 2019 will keep the 4-cylinder fans buzzing with excitement. The famed Lucas Oil Raceway and other trips too.
Anderson, Shady Bowl, Toledo, Fairfield,
Winchester, plus it's Bristol, baby, returns on May 31st.
Race fans, if you enjoy grassroots short track racing, then Richmond Raceway is the place for you this weekend. It's the inaugural Past Commonwealth Classic under the lights on Saturday, March 30th at Richmond Raceway. See North America's best short trackers, including past super late models, the ground-pounding tour-type modifieds, act late models, street stocks, and mini stocks. It's the stars and cars of short track racing this Saturday afternoon. Racing for nearly 400 laps of intense action. And fans, every grandstand ticket gets you closer to the action in the DC Solar Fan Grounds. For more info, go to ProAllStarSeries.com. Don't miss it.
7:45 in the morning here on the Morning Bullring, Speed 51. I'm Bob Dillner. He's Casey LaJoy. He's gotten his coffee. We're starting to wake up just a little bit. Still a little bit early. New time starting last week for us, 7 a.m. in the morning, but this is your first time with that time. How do you like it?
Brutal.
30
minutes is more 30 minutes that I could be sleeping.
Listen, Golick and Wingo starts at 6:30 or 6 o'clock or something like that, buddy. We ain't going there.
Listen, they're professionals.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. But hey, if you get paid to do your stuff, you're a professional. And I've seen you on Mav TV. I've seen you on Speed 51.
I'm famous.
Yeah, you're famous. That's right. Or you could be like me. You used to be famous.
Yeah, I know.
That's still my favorite all-time story right there.
Where was I? It was at the Rattler. Somebody came up to me. He's like, "Hey man, I saw you on Mav TV," and I'm like, "Oh man, I feel famous." I was like, "Nah, no, I do.
Blushing a little
I do
bit.
A crappy job. I know."
Yeah, well, I tell you what, I listened to your brother on a radio show last week, and I texted him right afterwards. Good job, keep up the work. So the LaJoy family, they're a little bit famous. You got a dad that's some sort of champion, right?
Yeah, some sort. And then Corey's got his own little podcast going now. I think
really
all drivers have to have their own podcast.
Oh, he's got to get me on there sometime.
Yeah, Sunday Money is what they call it.
Could you imagine Corey and I talking smack?
Oh, yeah.
About racing?
It'd probably be about cornhole most of the time.
Cornhole or maybe the Pro Challenge at South Boston Speedway back in the day. It was always a lot of fun. Hey, Cars Tour this past weekend, Hickory Motor Speedway. In terms of the coverage that we saw, both from Speed 51, Matt Weaver, there was a lot of talk at the end of that late model stock car portion of that race, and it seemed like there was a little bit of drama as well.
And Super. Josh Berry ran Super, too. And, late model stock. By the time I kind of fired up my phone, I was laying in bed. The Super race was going. I didn't get to see much of late model stock, but I did see that Taylor Gray got his first win, and that's really cool. I know my brother's worked closely with his brother. Why can't I think his name? Tanner and Taylor. So I think it's really cool to see how that family's really growing, not only being ringing the bell.
No, see, you haven't been here in a couple weeks.
Oh, that's new for Casey.
Is that when you mess up? You
No. First-time caller.
Oh, first-time caller.
On the PFC Performance Hotline. What a great segue. Mark just did it a touch too early, probably.
I was leading you.
And you were leading me.
And you didn't even let me know what was going on.
Yeah.
Well, show up once in a while.
It's always the engineer's fault. That's the bottom line. Absolutely. Let's go to the PFC Performance Hotline right now where Taylor Gray is. Taylor, good morning to you.
How are you guys?
Good. Are you awake? Are you alive? Are you kicking this morning?
Barely.
So 14 years old, correct?
14.
14. Yeah. So where you at? We woke up, a couple people last week. We got Carson Quapple in the hallway talking to him this morning in school. Where are you talking to us on the Morning Bullring?
I am at my house.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
So you're homeschooled, or do you got to go to school, or what's the life like?
Homeschooled.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, see, you're smart.
Yeah.
Travis has got to do that.
Definitely not smart. But
Well, you were smart enough to drive that car well on Saturday night at the Hickory Motor Speedway and get the big W. What was that like for you?
Yeah, man, it was a great experience racing with all those guys. My DGR Crosley crew definitely helped me, just talking to me, trying to calm me down, saving tires, walking me through the step, all through the 150-lap race at Hickory Motor Speedway.
So to get that win, what does it mean for you? You and your brother, your whole family, kind of straight liners coming over here. You've been involved in oval track racing a little bit over the last couple of years. But to be able to do this, what does that mean for you personally, and what does it mean for the family?
It's an awesome feeling. This is only my second Cars Tour race. I definitely didn't think it was going to happen this early at all, but it's definitely an awesome feeling being able to get the first one out of the way and kind of relieving a little bit of pressure.
Taylor, what clicked, man? I was there at Southern National, and to be honest, you were struggling a little bit. You know, first race with cars, I know that's really tough, and Southern National is kind of a different monster. But then you come out of the gate swinging at Hickory. What changed? Did you figure out how to drive the car, or did you feel like the car was just more set up at Hickory for your driving style?
You know, I have a lot of experience at Hickory. Southern National, we struggled with setup all weekend long. You know, we struggled to drive. Turn was not the greatest, and we really struggled to drive there. And then at the end, we just had no tire left at Southern National. At Hickory, we had a really good car all weekend long. Kind of worked on Tuesday we tested from 12 p.m. to 10 p.m. So I mean, we really put in the work, and all those DGR guys, they work really hard to get the best race cars they possibly can, and it definitely showed this weekend.
How involved is David Gilliland with you guys in trying to tutor the young drivers like yourself that are over there to help you learn this side of the game?
Oh, it's crazy. Like, he raced at Martinsville on Saturday, and he drove straight to Hickory, and he was texting me the entire way down here. So, I mean, it's crazy on how involved he is and how helpful he is. He's probably the best driver coach I've had.
So during the race, does he get on the radio? You know, did he give you advice during the race at all, or did it come before the race? I mean, paint the picture for me on what he does for you and what he's able to tell you.
So he'll give me tips under caution in the race. He doesn't like to really talk over my crew guys, but he will chime in and give me tips over the radio during the race every once in a while.
And what does that mean to you, and how do you, kind of compose what he's telling you and figure it out in your head?
I kind of picture it like me being a sponge, you know. There's a lot of information you just got to consume, and everything that comes from David, you definitely need to consume for sure, because it's all good advice.
Yeah, and you had to consume it there in the closing laps because you had Tommy Lemons running you down right there in your tire tracks, and he's a seasoned veteran. And I don't know if you've seen that car. Have you seen his late model stock this year?
No, I have not.
Holy cow, it's bright. One side is like bright yellow, one side is bright orange, and I imagine, Taylor, that's probably a distraction in your mirror. But how hard is it to stay composed when you got somebody right in your tire tracks there at the end of the race?
To be honest with you, it wasn't too bad. My guys just kind of kept me calm down. Like I said, they were just walking me through the steps. They were on that last restart. They were just telling me what to do and just be on my game on the restart. And we got the huge run on the outside there and just got it done.
So Casey LaJoy and I are kind of like, really minor league racers back in the day. We both raced race cars, and we both knew what it was like to cross that finish line and finish first. Put me in your head. Obviously, you're concentrating so hard on getting to the finish line. When you crossed the finish line, when you saw that checkered flag, when you drove into victory lane, when you got to climb out, what was that emotion like? Put me in that scene on Saturday night.
Definitely was surprised, for sure. Did not think it was going to happen that early at all. But I was super excited for all my guys, and it was a great feeling. Definitely looking forward to feeling that feeling again.
We talked about DGR and what they are doing for you in terms of grooming you in the late models and so forth. I want to know and talk about another gentleman that has been very instrumental with your family. Actually, he's an oval track guy that went to the straight line side with you guys and is involved with your brother and your family and so forth, and that is Kevin Finney. Kevin is a guy from Florida that knows a lot about oval track racing, went to drag racing, like I said, with you guys, but what is he doing and how instrumental is he in the growth of both you and your brother as circle track racers?
Yeah, Kevin's awesome. But yeah, he kind of he does a lot. He helps me and Tanner with our social media stuff, and is kind of our manager. He kind of handles all the logos and the appearances and so forth with that stuff.
Everybody needs somebody behind them to try to help them grow as a driver. You know, in terms of what we're going to see out of you for the remainder of the year, you're running the Car Store late model stock car circuit. What are you looking forward to most this year?
Getting some more race wins, man, and trying to finish best I possibly can in the points. We're definitely going for the championship this year. Right there it showed that we can win races, so I think we can really do really good in this series at the end and definitely win races where it counts.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough one to win. A lot of strong competitors have been running with Cars Tour year in and year out. You got Josh Berry, Deke McCaskill. Both the McCaskill brothers have been running really, really great. How are you feeling, Taylor, on your chances on getting this championship with so many, not only tough competitors, but just seasoned veterans?
Yeah, I think we have a decent chance at it. I'm not going to sit here and say that we don't have a chance at all. Because right there, no one thought. I think we were like 25-1 odds to win Hickory, and then we just go out there and we were fastest all weekend. So I definitely think we can. Definitely showed that we can be really fast.
You know, on Speed 51 each and every year around the NFL draft, we have what's called the short track draft, and it takes drivers 25 years old or younger, and a panel of experts actually rates them. And then, you know, the conglomerate, of votes come together, and a short track draft is revealed on Speed 51. Obviously, when you win close to the draft with the ballots just coming out here in the next week or so, that could certainly help your stock. What do you think about the short track draft and maybe where you think you should wind up? We always announce the top 51 drivers in the short track draft. How do you think this win is going to help you, and do you think you're a top 10 candidate at this point?
I think so. I think my guys are really good and give me a really good race car every weekend, so that definitely helps. But the race one, I think it definitely helped. But you never know. You never know where you could be.
Taylor, I want to know, besides the Cars Tour late model stock car, races, where else are we going to see you this year in terms of your racing? And, a lot of kids just jump up really quickly, too. I know you're just 14, so you got some time. What are the plans even after this year to see your progression moving forward?
This year we're just going to run the full Cars Tour and the big late model race, Martinsville and like Myrtle Beach and all those big races at the end of the year. And then the plan is possibly K&N next year full time.
Well, that'd be awesome. Awesome to see on the K&N circuit, of course. K&N, ARCA coming together. A lot of opportunities there for some younger drivers and so forth. Taylor, we appreciate you coming on the Morning Bullring. Make sure, even though you're homeschooled, make sure you hit the books, get to work. You need that as a backup as well for in life, just in case this racing thing doesn't pan out.
Yep.
All right, Taylor Gray on with us here on the Morning Bullring, and he and his brother, I tell you what, nice family, very personable kids, speak very well, and they got the talent behind the wheel as well.
Yes, they do, and they also ran at Millbridge. Tanner was pretty wild to watch. Taylor raced a little bit at Millbridge, and then he went off and helped, his NHRA team, and we used to call him Chester at the racetrack.
Chester.
I think he's grown out of that.
Why didn't you ask him?
I should have.
You should have.
I don't know where they just called him Chester, but then he kind of grew out of it. Now he's just Taylor.
Just Taylor. Okay. Yeah. Well, two very talented race car drivers, and it's going to be fun watching. Of course, Tanner Gray, last year's Pro Stock champion on the NHRA circuit. We're going to make another call and reveal another Kawicki Driver Development Program member for 2019 on the other side of the break. Don't go away.
Speed 51's video network, where the battles are legendary. Get the full picture on short track racing. We'll take you behind the scenes.
He's just a meathead. He's always the same way.
Your track, your driver, your sport, your passion. Dirt, late models, modifieds, and more. Race highlights, recaps, interviews, and thousands of on-demand videos. Speed 51 Network, short track racers' home for the best video coverage.
Hey race fans, download the new speed51.com app today. Breaking news, feature stories, the unfiltered podcast, live race coverage, schedules, and more right at your fingertips. Download it today on iTunes and the Google Play Store.
Rise and shine, it's Bullring time, and we will be with you each and every Monday morning. Bob Dillner and Casey LeJoy with some of the brightest stars of our sport.
A stacked field.
Big Money, Matt Hirschman, Ross Bales, Kyle Busch, Christian Eckes, Burt Myers, Devin Morgan, Augie Grill.
Look scared. Look at
Ryan Priest, Christopher Bell for the second straight week. Ben Rowe, Nick Hoffman. Boom! Boom!
It's stung.
No. Yeah.
Bottom line. Anyway,
It's a shop mixture.
last week we talked about changing diapers with Bubba Powell, and I'm literally in a state of disbelief. So I have a few big guns down there. Brandon Paul, Zach Evans, Darrell Canfield, Alec Jorgensen. Kyle, where are you?
You got your man Mamba here.
I started my own short track team, I think it was 2007.
No, I'd probably tongue it.
Use your 5-second friendship.
Big development. We got the new graphic, 7 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. every Monday morning here on Speed 51. You wake up, you brush your teeth, you have your coffee. Who knows if you do it in that order, but you watch, you listen to Casey LeJoy and myself, Bob Dillner, Mark Keeler, Kendra Adams in the house as well. And speaking of the lovely Kendra, cue the music. That's right. Let's find out what's in the news in terms of short track racing. That's $1.
This week up in Pennsylvania at Port Royal Speedway.
Port Royal.
Royal. Well, I was. It's
not
I
You're
just, that's how
Canadian.
Canadians
Royale.
It's not a battle royale.
Michael Norris won the 30-lap feature race for the ULMS Racing Series, as well as his heat win. Over into Georgia at Cochran Motor Speedway, Chris Ferguson won his first Schaefer's Oil Spring National Series race, as well as taking home $10,000. Taylor Gray, as we just found out, won his late model stock race. That's his first Cars Tour win. 150 laps later at Hickory Motor Speedway. And Bubba Pollard also won the Cars Super Late Model race at Hickory. This is his 5th Cars Tour win, and he won the opener earlier in the year at Southern National.
And there was a little controvery there, I understand, as well, in terms of Josh Berry, Bubba Pollard, past rulings and so forth. Always love drama, but there was plenty of it Saturday night.
There always is. Always is. And it seems
explain.
It seems like, well, I don't know. I didn't see what happened,
Yeah,
but
but
apparently Josh Berry spun out.
Yeah.
And Pollard spun out to avoid or got turned, but they let him keep his spot, and Berry went to the back since he was the original caution. So Bubba kept his spot, went on to win the race, won his first race at Hickory Motor Speedway. I didn't believe it either. Won his first race at Hickory. He'd never won a Hickory before.
Yeah, actually, he's not been good at Hickory all the time, but
he's been good. Well, I'd say the last 3 trips he's been there, he's been
better,
good, but they haven't capitalized.
Yeah, I remember when he first went there, he was flat out awful at Hickory Motor Speedway. Yeah, hey, Bubba's the man. We love Bubba Pollard for sure, and we hope you're watching here. We got a lot of people tuning in this morning, and by the way, we got people tuning in from Vermont. Brent Rossi, good morning to you. Kathy Link, but I like this. By the way, Billy Smith says, teachers leave Carson alone. Sounds like a hashtag.
Yep.
Teachers leave Carson alone. He's a member of the Quickie Driver Development Program this year. But then this particular person also said good morning, spelt Mourning.
Don't come at me.
Is that how they spell it in
No.
Canada? Okay.
That's like mourning, like sad, like someone died, isn't it?
Yeah, you're right.
Okay.
Absolutely. But you do put a little U in there in some of the
Neighbor.
words. Neighbor.
Check. There's lots of them.
About.
Well, you guys have U's in there too.
It does, but we just don't say it like about. But we love having you here as part of the show. I know next week we're going to have you even part of the show on a larger format. But unfortunately for us, Kendra is going home to the great country of Canada in a couple of weeks.
Peace, dog.
Bye. I will miss you guys.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
hope that you'll
Well,
miss me
you're
too.
not gone yet.
Not
Don't worry.
yet.
You're
It's
not gone
sad
yet for sure. All right. Tell you what, let's make another call for the Kawiki Driver Development Program. We have an hour and a half left in the show. We have 6 people to get to. So we have the Mighty Mouse theme going right now. You like that? Yeah. I should have worn, I'm so bad. Tom Roberts is going to be mad at me. I did not wear my pin. You know, I got a Mighty Mouse, Kawiki Driver Development pin, and I did not wear it this morning.
You messed up.
Listen, I had 15 minutes to get ready. I mean, look at me. You know, so
I know.
Barely made it here.
I know. You need some hairspray and.
Let's find out. Yeah, thanks a lot. Yeah, hair's not that bad. I don't have 10W40 in it.
Listen, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Hello,
D. Griff.
What's going on, guys?
How you doing, buddy?
Good. How are you?
Were you waiting for a phone call this morning?
I've been waiting to hop in the shower for a little bit now, just in case,
So you're delaying your morning progress to see if you get a call. Welcome to the Kawiki Driver Development Program once again in 2019.
Oh, thank you so much. It's such an awesome program. I was just, had my fingers crossed the whole time, and we've been watching it all morning. So, we try to watch every morning Bullring possible. But so like I said, it progressed a little bit slower today than normal, but I'm all right with that.
Serious question. I'm gonna pull a Bob Dylan here and be like, look,
oh, jeez.
How do you like the show with me not on it?
He doesn't know how to answer that.
No, it's a good show either way. I mean, obviously you're pretty comfortable in front of the camera and stuff, and you got a good personality. So you guys always have a fun time on the show. I'd like to make it down there one time and possibly get on.
That's a drive for him though.
He's coming down this way this weekend.
I mean,
sort of. Almost
kinda.
To North Carolina. We'll get to that in just a second. But speaking of the show, do you feel like we're a little bit off this morning? I mean, Casey's got his coffee. I don't have any coffee.
Nope.
We were at Cherokee until 1 o'clock. Didn't get home until 1 o'clock in the morning. Got up at 5:30 or 5:45, whatever we did. I just feel like we're a little bit off. How would you evaluate the show so far today?
I couldn't tell that you guys are really all that off, to be
That's
completely
why I
honest.
love D. Griff.
Yeah.
So, second year as part of this program, D. Griff, what did you learn last year that's honestly going to make you better, not only as a driver, but a person?
So they the Kawiki program doesn't make you focus on any sort of specific thing. They kind of turn you into a good all-around person and driver. So, they want you to compete and do well. They want you to kind of, spread your wings and kind of go a little bit everywhere and break out of that shell that some of us end up in. So, the off-track stuff is just incredible. What the program has urged people to do and accomplish through all the drivers is just one day they should really tally up and see all the stuff that they've done, because it's incredible. The amount of community service hours done last year by all the guys and everything, it's just amazing. So that really helps all of us as a off track kind of thing, and really pushes us as drivers to not be very one dimensional.
So just to describe to folks that are listening or watching the Morning Bullring this morning some of the things that you did off the racetrack, because I love to hear the stories of each and every one of the 7 people that are part of the Kawiki Driver Development Program every year at the banquet. It's incredible what you guys do. What did you do last year?
So last year we actually there was a homeless veteran in town here, and we're New England, so it gets quite cold up here. So I guess he spent all winter in a Honda Civic living in it, and he blew the motor in it, so he ended up sleeping in it with no heat really. So we ended up donating a truck to him, and through Hamburgers for Heroes, is the name of the program up here, and they it's like a Wounded Warriors kind of deal, and they're awesome. So we hooked up with them, did that, and he ended up living actually in a motel for quite a while, but he had a truck with a cap on it in case he ever wanted to get rolling and everything. We did that. We had a school drive towards the end of the year for all the school supplies when kids are going back to school, and I mean the amount of support that we got. We did most of that at the racetrack, so people would come up and just give us a tote full of stuff. So we did that. We did a couple other small fundraisers and stuff, but those are our two major things that we did over our year.
That sounds really awesome, and sounds like you're doing a lot for the community. And it's like the old phrase says, you work hard to get it, and you got to work even harder to keep it. And that sounds exactly like what you guys go through the KDD program. And just talk about how hard you have to work. What's harder, the off the racetrack stuff or the on the racetrack stuff, trying to keep up with the competitors?
They're both real tough. It's funny, last year it's like we had a good year last year, just we didn't have a really good year in the Kilwickie time frame, in that 7-month time frame. I mean, we raced every month of the year last year, and we got we finished second at the Red Eye, we finished second at the Mega Meltdown, we won I mean, we just had a good year last year, and it kind of fell out of the spots where Kilwickie really looks at, but the it's just, I don't know, we just got our fingers crossed this year that we're going to have a pretty good year.
Well, you had a good year last year. I mean, you got that win at Thompson. You got the win at Dillon. The problem was at that time, and Tom Roberts admitted to this at the banquet, is that you almost started your season a little bit too early. Hopefully that can change a little bit this year. When you get those wins, now it's going to count for the Kilwickie Driver Development Championship, and hopefully you'll get your season kick-started this weekend at Richmond. The Commonwealth Classic, what's it going to be like going to the big track there in Virginia?
Oh, man, we've been excited since it was announced last year, and it's kind of been pushed off since then. And, oh, man, we got that. We're coming off a fresh win at New Smyrna, finally. I mean, I've been going on there for 6 years and just have struggled and struggled and struggled. So, I mean, we've had some halfway decent runs there, over the years. But, to win the big one over, actually, ironically, the speaker from the Kilwickie program last year, the guest speaker, Bubba Pollard, was like, that really hit home for me, and especially the crew and everything. So, we're kind of hoping this momentum will carry through rather than die down a little bit. And, we had some troubles last year with a bunch of silly things. So I think we're starting off this year on the right foot. I think we're real strong in speed weeks. We kind of had some bad luck middle, beginning, and then we ended it off pretty good. So Richmond's going to be incredible with that new Fury car too. So.
You did it again, by the way. Okay, just like I didn't unmute myself there, but you did it again where you started the season too early because the Kilwickie Driver Development Program wasn't announced back then. You already got a win again before the program began. What the heck, T. Griff?
What the heck?
All right, well, let's talk a little bit more about Richmond. I thought he was going to talk a little bit more there. I was picking on him a little bit. I thought maybe he was going to come back at me. You didn't know where to go there, but that's okay. Well, what do you think it's going to be like at Richmond this weekend?
I'm really not sure. I mean, we've run that race at New Hampshire Motor Speedway, and it's similar. It's a cup track, and you got the cup garages and all that stuff. And I don't know. I'm excited because I'm bringing our dry sump motor, and that's going to be a fast racetrack with a dry sump motor. So we're real excited just to get around there, and you watch the big guys on TV race there on Sundays. So it's going to be pretty cool to kind of hopefully be able to mark our name down as having a good finish there.
What have you done to prepare yourself for this race? Obviously, it's a little different than New Hampshire. That's the Magic Mile. That's flat. That's a mile. This is 3/4 of a mile and high banks. Obviously, you've watched races there on TV, but, what have you done, race car or just, for yourself to prepare for this particular race?
It's funny. Even last year, we even with Indy too, we were kind of in a weird spot because we didn't have a track really to compare other than New Hampshire Motor Speedway, and they're really not the same. So We've been watching a lot of videos, a lot of in-car stuff, a lot of outside stuff. The whole team, we got like a TV in the shop with Wi-Fi and stuff. So whenever we get a minute, we'll sit down and kind of look at some stuff. But in the car, we kind of just loaded it up after speed weeks. It's amazing. We went through all speed weeks, and we needed a right side door, a left front fender, and some rocker panels for the whole entire speed weeks. So we're like, wow, that's a first. We don't have to do anything major to the car or anything like that. So we loaded it up, put it on home, and got that thing ready for here. And we kind of just focused specifically on this race. There was some other races that we probably could have raced from speed weeks to Richmond, but we kind of just want to put all of our eggs in this basket and see if we can just do really well.
If that's all the parts you have to buy after Speed Weeks, Derek, I think you could pretty much say you didn't tear anything up, because there was a lot of torn up stuff at Speed Weeks. But I'm excited to see this race at Richmond. I've always liked it's like when they used to run the late model stocks at Richmond, a short track.
Yeah.
It's not. I mean, it's a big short track.
Like Dale Jr. said, it's grandfathered in because it used to be shorter, and it's still sort of, kind of a short track. So it's grandfathered in there for sure.
I'm excited to see it. And I'm also excited to see that you got a pin
from,
out of nowhere.
Mark Keeler saved me, actually. I got my Kawicki driver development pin, the Mighty Mouse pin on right here. So I know that's something that, D. Griff, you have sported over the past couple of years on your driver's uniform, on your race car, and so forth. And by the way, Mike Parks from the Granite State Pro Stock Series, he just tuned in and said a big congratulations to you. And I know being part of that series, as well as the Pro All-Star Series, has really made you what you are as a driver.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, Mike Parks is a great guy. We even we might not race a bunch of Granite State races anymore, but we still go to them, and we like to support them when we can. And I mean, that's where I started. I was 14, 15 years old and running a pro stock in a touring division. So and it all started there, and all those guys were really accommodating. We made a lot of good friends in the Granite State Pro Stock Series, and when we moved to the Pass Series, and kind of the same thing. I was welcome, with open arms, and we made a lot of friends, on the series working, and, even the competitors. And it's just both series are just such a hard competitive series. It's, I'm really surprised. Like, I mean, you get races, like the opening race at Oxford, it's probably going to see well over 30 cars with Pass. So it's just crazy to me to believe that.
And, of course, you're going for the Pass National Championship again this year. I know that's something you're looking forward to accomplish it last year, now going after it again this year. What does that mean to you?
It was really good to finally get – I had the Granite State Championship, and we've had some good runs over the years. But, to end off a season with, coming home and getting that big trophy at the banquet and everything is just like – that's what makes it feel good. Everyone's there hanging out, having a good time, and when your name gets called, it's just really cool. So like you said, we're probably going to try to go for it again this year. It's such a cool way to put some sort of championship together. I think it's the only national championship for super late models. So it's funny to get all the way down to, Dillon and Richmond, all the way to Oxford, Maine, or, it's just, it's a cool way to, kind of link up the whole East Coast to go racing.
D. Griff, we appreciate you being on the show, and congratulations on being a member of the Kawicki Driver Development Program again this year. Now go take a shower, dude.
Thanks, guys. I really appreciate it.
You got it. We're going to watch D. Griff there at Richmond International Raceway with the Commonwealth Classic this week.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. Off-topic comment. I saw this comment, and I have to address it. On Facebook from Zachary Thompson. He said there's only one Carolina, and it's in the South. Go Gamecocks.
Gamecocks.
Zachary, you are wrong. There's two Carolinas, but this is the real one.
Yep. You know what I say.
What?
And Duke is puke, Wake is fake. The one we hate is NC State. You can't go to heaven in a red canoe because God's favorite color is Carolina blue. I know that had nothing to do with the Gamecocks.
What's funny? Yeah, the Gamecocks aren't even mentioned in there.
What's funny?
They're not even mentioned.
Oh, that's what's funny.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we're not funny.
No.
We're dry. We're kind of like Matt Kenseth.
Yeah.
He was funny in a dry sort of way. Anyway, we'll go to a break here on the Morning Bullring. We're coming back with the winner from the Ultimate Northeast opener in Hagerstown, Maryland, plus more revelations for the Kawicki Driver Development Program this year.
Hey race fans, download the new speed51.com app today. Breaking news, feature stories, the unfiltered podcast, live race coverage, schedules, and more right at your fingertips. Download it today on iTunes and the Google Play Store.
Speed 51's video network, where the battles are legendary. Get the full picture on short track racing. We'll take you behind the scenes.
He's just a meathead. He's always the same way.
Your track, your driver, your sport, your passion. Dirt, late models, modifieds, and more. Race highlights, recaps, interviews, and thousands of on-demand videos. Speed 51 Network, short track racers' home for the best video coverage.
Plenty of racing going on this past weekend in the world of short track racing. I'm Bob Dillner, Casey LaJoy alongside 8:21 in the morning here on Speed 51. And we're revealing all of the members of the Quickie Driver Development Program this year. It is just the best driver development program in America. But we are 100% short track racing. As we always say, pavement or dirt, it doesn't matter. This past weekend, yesterday as a matter of fact, we were talking about March Madness. And not on the basketball court. We were talking about March Madness at Cherokee Speedway. Jonathan Davenport with the big win there for the Southern All-Star Series. But the ultimate late models also in action on two different circuits this past weekend. The Ultimate South with a race at County Line Speedway. Dustin Mitchell with the big win there. And then the Ultimate Northeast opened up its season at Hagerstown, Maryland. That's a cool racetrack.
It is. I've never been there, but watching the highlights, it looks amazing. Track's well lit, very nice facility, and the race they had there was awesome. Watching the highlights,
that race was live on the Speed 51 video network. Let's go to the PFC Performance Hotline. First time caller Justin Weaver, big winner at Hagerstown. How you doing this morning, buddy?
Good, man. Good. And yourself?
I'm doing very well. Very well. We're excited that you're on the program, not only because you're a first-time caller, but you got the win at Hagerstown. What is it like to open up the season with a big W?
It's pretty cool, man. This team just starting out. I just got to thank the Coleman family for giving me a shot and seeing something in me, and I can't really put it into words. It's still, kind of hard to explain at this point in time,
Man, run us through your emotions. Like, your car was straight up smoking for the last, half of the race, and you really had to kind of methodically pick your way up through the field to get to the lead. But then your car's smoking. I'm sure you could see the smoke, smell the smoke, and you still had to pass for the lead. Run us through your mentality in those closing laps.
Right. Yeah, it was, I really contemplated pulling in when it come to lap 25, and I kind of glanced up at the scoreboard, but then, the motor was, still running smooth. It was losing oil, but, I looked up when I got to the lead. I looked up and, I glanced at the scoreboard and seen it was to lap 28, and, at that point it was kind of like, it's time to send it and, hope for the best, but everything worked out. So.
Yeah, that's why I love you dirt drivers, because you guys are just, I'm just going to send it first and think about it later. But yeah, you had to kind of work your way through lap traffic and also, pass for the lead. And that was no easy task. You were running the bottom, looked like it was pretty slicked over. Talk about that racetrack, man. That racetrack looks awfully racy there in Hagerstown.
Yes, it was. They did a phenomenal job with the racetrack and preparation. And Hagerstown's always been, a very racy facility, and I've raced there for a long time. And it always seems like there's 2 lanes, if not 3 lanes, of good racing. And it was very slick, but throughout the feature, I was able to find a little bit of moisture around the bottom and, get it to work for me. And I think by the end of the race, I was able to make something out of that. I kind of saved my tires a little bit throughout the race, and had a little more at the end than Kyle did, and was able to make something out of it.
I've been a racing fan for a long time, even before I'm doing what I do for a living. And I remember sitting at my home track in Islip Speedway, New York, and just looking at the race cars and going, I like that guy because he's got a good-looking race car. You got a pretty good-looking race car there, but I want to know where the yellow comes in. I've always been fascinated by why people choose certain race cars and colors. I'm an App State guy, black and yellow. Where does the yellow come from for your team?
Well, I'm an all black guy myself. All my personal cars were always black, and I always kept them pretty sharp. But Ronald Coleman, which is the car owner, he owns Coleman Farms. He raises chickens, so I guess that's where the yellow kind of comes into play.
That is awesome. That is really cool. So running for him, getting this opportunity, running the yellow car, it seems like you guys got good chemistry and it kind of got a little bit of a family building in terms of going racing this year.
Yeah, Ron's backed me 100%, and we got Mark Smith with MS Shocks, and we're racing a lot with Mason Ziegler, and trying to travel around the area with him, just trying to get a little bit better. I think we're going to make a pretty good go at this deal, and there's good chemistry, and Ron kind of lets me do my thing, and I let him do his, and I think it's going to work out for the best. So.
I tell you what, I love Ziggy. Mason Ziegler, good guy. Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series, Rookie of the Year last year. He and his wife had a baby. He's kind of pulling back the reins just a little bit on some of his national racing, going to go more regional racing. Of course, I do all the TV for MAV TV for the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series with James Essex. We have a blast with Dave Argerbright and the entire Lucas Oil Production Studios crew. But at the same time, we love regional dirt late model racing. That's why Casey and I were at Cherokee Speedway for March Madness yesterday. That's why we go to the dirt tracks all the time. What's it like in the Ultimate Northeast, in terms of competing with that series?
It's always something special. I've never had the pleasure of, getting to race with those guys, the best in the business. I always dreamed as a kid of, running super late models and running with the best, and, to run the other night with, Greg Satterley and Mason Ziegler, and, all those big names, and to be able to beat the best, it really raises your confidence and, puts it into perspective. And, it's just a really good feeling.
You dirt late model guys love to run a ton of races. What is on tap for you this year from a full picture?
We got around 50 to 60 races, and we're going to travel around mostly around the Northeast here, and tracks like Port Royal, Hagerstown, Williams Grove. We're just going to travel all over where there's a big show, mostly qualifying, and just try to have a fun year and bounce around.
Well, Justin, we appreciate you coming on the Morning Bullring, and a big congratulations for the season opening win for Ultimate North there at Hagerstown Speedway.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for having me.
You got it. You can see those highlights on the Speed 51 Video Network, Justin's big win at Hagerstown.
Yeah, and I don't suggest watching them at 1 o'clock in the morning when you get back from Cherokee.
Yeah, and I tell you what, you and Alec Jorgensen, you guys were flat out dirty when you left that racetrack. We went to Wendy's on the way home, and Jorgensen, he had to go to the bathroom, and the sink in the bathroom after he wiped his face and washed his face was just flat out dirty. I feel bad for the next person that was going to go in there.
It was about that color right there.
Yeah. That red clay of Cherokee is. You look like you were like, you look like you went to the tanning bed way too long.
Yeah, Kendra has this picture of me. I bought these glasses. These goggles.
Those are goggles, yeah.
Goggles, and they was the best $10 investment I ever made. Because had I not had those, my eyes would have been shot. I was flavor blasted. I had the wind blowing on me. Alec had the good corner because somehow no dust hit him at all. He was in the shade, and he had the clearest shot. He didn't have any backlight from the sun. and I'm over there getting blasted with dirt. My first time ever live, running the camera, but it was awesome, man. It was cool. I'm usually not fond of scissor lifts, but that one was like big, and it was comfortable. It was swayy. It wasn't very like sturdy.
You couldn't tell it on the air though.
No, there was like if I locked down, like zoomed in, that's when you could see it really swaying.
There's the picture.
Yeah,
There's the picture.
That's what and then I ended up buying a hat. I bought a Mike Marlar hat behind me.
I like that hair.
Right? It was like the wind was blowing it everywhere. The wind was going.
I think there was some premonition
that was
here.
fast.
I think there was some premonition in this shot. Look at the flag behind you.
I know. Fast
Oh,
forward in
look at
time.
that.
Look at that.
JD.
I can tell the future.
That was a field there yesterday.
It was stacked.
That was incredible. What was it? 30, 32 or something like that?
39?
No, it was like 32, I think.
Yeah,
dirt
total
late models.
32.
32.
And then they had 20 of the pro late models too, also. So
Great.
that was pretty cool. Sorry,
but
great late models.
Think
We're not
about it.
asphalt racing.
Okay, you have listen. No, they're trying to move into go to pros. Just FYI, because there's
Don't
such
yell
a
at me.
stigma about crates. But Chris Madden, Chris Ferguson, you had Zach Mitchell, Jonathan Davenport. Help me out here. You go through the
Did you
list.
say Jimmy Owens?
Jimmy Owens.
Yeah.
You had Dennis Rambo Franklin.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, just a great list of drivers that came to battle yesterday. A very impressive field for an independent show to some degree. It was a Southern All-Stars race, but March Madness and the 17th edition of it was very exciting.
Yeah, and kind of off the subject. Well, it's still on the subject, but I was able to talk to Ferguson after the race. He was kind of pulling out his merchandise hauler, and I was walking back, and the first time I got to talk to him in a while. So he was like, we had a really good car, but it was so dry there at Cherokee, and it really slicked over. He's like, it was just hard to pass. Everybody was all on the bottom. We saw it with Jimmy Owens trying to get around a lap car for like 10 laps. It was tough to pass, and that's what he said. They just missed it in qualifying, and it couldn't really go anywhere.
To some degree, you could say the track was certainly locked down. I mean,
It is what it is on a day race.
It's
like
a day race, dirt late models. I know a lot of pavement people won't understand that, but that's just the way it is with dirt racing. But it was neat seeing a daytime dirt late model race. You don't normally see that. But no matter what, because we're having this conversation at the trailer yesterday with everybody, no matter what, it's funny because, listen, I love all short track racing, but that racing there was still more exciting, even with a locked down track, than we see at a lot of pavement tracks in America because of the nature of dirt racing and how there is multiple grooves and not just a single groove that you need to hit each and every race, every lap.
I look at dirt racing as it's more poetic, I guess, than you could say as asphalt racing. You really kind of have to, when you're working traffic, trying to pass each other, you really have to focus on what's next. I think with asphalt guys, they get to them and then you could just give them the bumper and go. But I think with dirt guys, they really have to focus on, especially when there's different lines coming in. You really have to focus on how to run certain lines, what's going to come in on the racetrack. It just seems more poetic to me. I don't know.
Isn't that right, Mark Killer?
My favorite part was how much left side weight they can pick up after the checkered flag. We saw that.
That was awesome.
Quite a bit.
Yeah, good thing Ricky Brooks wasn't there. None of them would have passed.
The one guy in the race just prior to the Southern All-Star Series race, Sportsman, he was banging the mud on the inside, trying to gain some mud, gain the weight, and guess what? He got the old DQ. He didn't gain enough. He needs to hit that inside berm a little bit more.
They always do that. That's always like a dirt thing.
So we're going to show you Mark Keeler back there. Show you his camera. Just to say hi to Mark a little bit. Tom Ryan is back there as well. Say hi. Hi, guys.
He looks tired.
So here's what we're going to do. These are the guys that actually send us to break, so we're going to stay on their camera this time until we go. Oh, you can't?
No.
Oh, bummer.
He set it up
purposely.
purposely.
Oh, he did. He set it up purposely right there because sometimes we go to break, we hit the music, go to break, and it takes a little while because this is a raw
we
show.
got one ready this time.
We do?
Yes.
Awesome. Let's get to break. How about that? We'll be right back with another KDDP person as far as a member of that group this year.
Hey race fans, download the new Speed51.com app today. Breaking news, feature stories, the Unfiltered podcast, live race coverage, schedules, and more right at your fingertips. Download it today on iTunes and the Google Play Store.
Speed 51's video network, where the battles are legendary. Get the full picture on short track racing. We'll take you behind the scenes.
He's just a meathead. He's always the same way.
Your track, your driver, your sport, your passion. Dirt, late models, modifieds, and more. Race highlights, recaps, interviews, and thousands of on-demand videos. Speed 51 Network, short track racers' home for the best video coverage.
Welcome back to the Morning Bullring, and we are going through the Kawicki Driver Development Program this morning and calling people. We're going to call the next person right now. Mark Keeler is kind of like our operator over there in the control room, getting these people on the line. So we're going to call that next person live on the Morning Bullring. I'm Bob Dillner. He's Casey LaJoy. Kawicki Driver Development Program, just unreal what they have been able to do in just a short period of time. The inaugural champion, by the way, was Ty Majeski.
Oh, how about that?
Yeah.
He's done a few things.
Brett Yackey won the award last year, driver, third-generation race car driver, actually, from Colorado. And, he was the first driver to accept an invitation to come compete at the Speed 51 Super Select at Lucas Oil Raceway outside of Indianapolis on September 7th this year.
I hope I'm invited.
You do want to go to that race, don't you? Yeah, well, let's see what else. Maybe some brownie points or something like that.
I don't know.
You can bring in some brownies?
No,
Do you
I'm
cook?
trying to. Listen, I got to get married. I got to cut down.
Oh, well, let's call another person here and welcome them to the Kawicki Driver Development Program this year. Paulie, how you doing, buddy?
Good.
Paulie, it's Bob Dillner. You're live on the Morning Bullring.
What's up?
Hey, how you doing? Do you know why
Good,
Do you know why we're calling?
Yeah, I think it's for the Kawicki Development Program.
Would you like to be part of it this year?
Hell yeah, that'd be awesome.
I know a few people.
Yeah?
Yeah, I got this list in front of me, and your name is on it.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That is so cool.
Congratulations to you. What does that mean?
It means a lot. I mean, it's just nice to be a part of something bigger than just racing in the Midwest. I mean, to be a part of a development Kawicki program that's so many people have done, like Ty Majeski and like Alex Brunny.
Oh, we're losing you a little bit. Walk back to where you were, bud.
Yeah, don't move. Go back to where you were.
Oh.
Don't move.
There you go.
Hear ya.
We got you?
Yep.
Okay, you can tell this is
All
live
right.
TV.
Don't move a muscle.
Hello?
I got you,
Yeah.
Paulie. You
You
got
hear
me?
us?
Okay.
All right, good. Hey, by the way, you're a senior at Valpo there. By the way, where is Valparaiso in March Madness?
Not too good.
You don't want to talk about it.
No, I don't want to talk about that. They didn't make the tournament.
Are you in the NIT, or did you not make that either?
No, they didn't make that either. They the last time they made the NCAA bracket was the year before I went to Valpo.
So it's your fault.
Yep.
Hey,
Yep. So they should make it next year.
Side
So
note,
place your bets now.
I legitimately thought NIT stood for not in tournament until I was like 14.
Well, it does if you're Valpo,
Yeah,
okay?
true.
Yeah, exactly.
So you're the curse for Valparaiso not going to March Madness. But what's it been like for you the past couple of years? I mean, you're a smart kid. You got just a fun nature about you. You love racing. You're going to school. I don't even know what you're studying, honestly. So fill us in on what the life is like for Paulie Schaefer.
Yeah, so I'm going to college. I'm actually going for accounting. I got to be able to count money and be able to make money and be able to put up with my habit, which is racing. So in order to do that, so I've been going to college. I joined a fraternity. So that's kind of pushed me to do a bunch of crazy things like shaving my head and doing all that kind of stuff. And then just going to the racetrack and doing all that kind of stuff. You know, I always try to be just a little bit different. And, I went to Speed Weeks the last time with a mustache, and I dyed my hair purple at one point, and I got the long hair, and now I'm going for the mullet. So, I'm just trying to be different.
Yeah, listen, Paulie, we know you're definitely not scared to do crazy things with your hair, and I basically stick mine in one so it doesn't move.
He's got the little swoop. I don't know
Yeah.
if you've seen
It's
Casey
just like
LaJoy, but you need to get with him on some of the hair stuff that you do, Paulie.
Yeah, it's like you get in the wind tunnel and then you just grease it on over and then it stays.
Right.
But Paulie, we were just talking to D. Griff a little bit ago about what he does in his community, and everything that the KDDP program really pushes you to do. What have you been doing off the racetrack to help promote yourself and just to be better in your community, man?
Yeah, so last fall I actually got hooked into this like bird sanctuary here in Chesterton, Indiana, and it's like they call it like a migratory bird zone. So I usually go there on Saturdays in the morning from like 9 to 12 when I'm not racing, or if we're not leaving till afterwards. And that's something that I kind of like to do just because it's something for the community that looks a little different. They got like them things where you can have like a wedding there and you can look over the water, and they're just trying to like restore the wetlands type of thing to back what it used to be before a bunch of invasive species and stuff like that showed up. So I mean, that's something that I like to do. We get to take an Argo out there, which is like a boat like with tracks on it type of thing, so it can go through anything. And the guy that like owns the place like lets us run down cattails, so me and a couple buddies go out there and do that. So yeah.
That's pretty cool. That's interesting. See, I learned something new about Paulie Schaefer. If you watch or listen to the Morning Bullring, you'll learn something new each and every week. And it's pretty. You're gonna have to tweet a picture of two things, Paulie. I want to see the mullet in progress, and I want to see you doing that stuff that you've been doing over there. You got to tweet us some pictures. Can you do that?
Yeah, I can do that.
Absolutely.
I got a picture of me and a couple buddies next to the Argo from late last fall. They don't do nothing in the wintertime because it's cold out and nobody wants to be outside in the cold. But
yeah, how cold is it up there right now?
I think it's up to 30 something today. It's not too bad. It's kind of wearing a t-shirt and shorts. Typical Midwestern feel.
So what's your week like at school in terms of all your classes and so forth?
Yeah, so because I'm a senior, I kind of like front loaded all my classes. So now I'm down to I think 13 credits, and I'm going to class 2 days a week. So most of the week I'm at the junkyards trying to help my dad and learn the business, and that's kind of that side of things. And so I'm staying busy doing other things less than school. You know what I mean?
Your dad has obviously been involved in racing for a real long time, but I think the real important question here is, and Casey LaJoy loves when I get to this,
oh yeah,
will the mullet be ready for graduation in the cap and gown?
I think so. I got to get one more haircut here in the next week or so, but it's definitely a mullet. You know what I mean? It's definitely more than just long hair at this point.
Listen, if you need mullet tips, Rico Abreu's got you covered.
Yes.
Undoubtedly, possibly the greatest mullet on the face of this earth right now.
Gotcha. We'll see what happens. I mean, once Madison comes around, first race of the year, maybe I'll have some competition for him.
so 22 years old. You've won races on the ARCA Midwest Tour. You've won races in CRA, former Ileana Motor Speedway track champion. What's in store for you this year? Are you going after that ARCA Midwest Tour title?
Yeah, for sure. The last couple of years, we've been running top 5 in the ARC Midwest Tour points. Obviously, for a few of the years there, it was against Ty Majeski, and we all know how he is. He's one of the best. So, but this year, we're going to try to run for an ARC Midwest Tour points championship. Last year, we were in the hunt for it going into lacrosse, just a little bit out. We had a couple bad races, bad breaks in the middle of the year with just blowing motors and things breaking on the car. But we'll see what happens. We're just going to be putting together a full season, which we just struggled with last year just a little bit.
I thought you were going to help me out here.
No.
I'm looking at my phone, trying to get the next guest ready.
Listen,
and what are you doing?
I'm reading comments, man.
Well, come on. You got to pay attention.
I mean, hey, man.
You can tell this show is a little bit raw, Paulie. We need to have you on as a co-host. We're going to kick Casey off one week and just bring you on here.
I'm running out of coffee.
Yeah, whenever you want. I mean, it's a little bit of a hike for me to get down there, so I'm going to need a little bit more than a day's notice.
Yeah, we can do that. We can do that. You know what we should have? We should have like a hair contest here. The Paulie Schaefer hair contest. He could come on with his hair. We'll both, do something. I don't know what.
I'll have you bring in the hat you got at the Chili Bowl, the Rico Abreu hat, and I'll wear that with the mullet down the back.
Paulie, I used to have a mullet.
Really?
Back in college, in my disc jockey days, I used to have a mullet.
Can we get pictures of that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
Yeah. So I'll tweet
We call him
pictures
Bob
of you and
Deertag.
mine, and you'll have to show me what yours used to look like.
There you do.
Yeah.
There you go. I could do that. Bobby Sticks, Hard Rocky Countdown, WNYT, 5:50 a.m.
I was
Number
thinking
8,
AM.
Cherry Pie. Yes, a.m.
I was thinking like Bob Dirt instead of Joe Dirt.
Bob Dirt?
That's why I
No, it
looked
was
at
Bobby
Dirt.
Sticks. It was Bobby Sticks.
Bobby Stick.
For Casey,
Yeah.
he just needs to go one day without putting all that crap in his hair. That would be
Bro.
a wild thing for him.
Nah.
Yeah.
It goes. It's too crazy. My hair's too soft, man. It doesn't. It just goes.
Yeah, well, so is mine. Look at it.
I know.
It just flops.
Yeah.
But anyway, Paulie, congratulations. I don't know where this was going here, but a good congratulations to you on being a member of the Kawicki Driver Development Program.
Thanks a lot. I appreciate it.
You got it, absolutely. Paulie Schaefer on the broadcast, and he is just so much fun to hang around.
Yes, he is. And I think the first time I ever saw Paulie was at Nashville, like 3 years ago, probably. And he showed up, and he's got a big old fro and a mustache. And I'm like, who in the world is this guy? And then Mark Keeler's like, hey, man, that's Paulie Schaefer. I'm like, oh.
One thing's for sure, he's almost always smiling.
Yeah.
Like 80 to 90% of
Yep.
the time. I don't know that I've ever seen him not smiling and not having a good time at a racetrack.
Listen, really, if you're Paulie Schaefer, and you could say this for a lot of people, and Kenny Wallace is really good with his, positive mental attitude, the PMA, is really in life. If you look at where you're at, and for Paulie Schaefer, okay, he's at Valparaiso, he's a student, he's racing a race car in the ARCA Midwest Tour. Adam Petty, I always used to talk to him about that, and Adam was such a good dude. And I said, man, why do you smile so much? And he'd go, what do I have to, be unhappy about?
It's true.
And it was absolutely the truth. We're going to call the next person on the line here.
Yep, we can
Cool,
do that.
cool. We'll definitely do that live here on the Morning Bullring.
I think I got one more sip of coffee.
And I
left.
emailed you all the contacts for the remainder of
Okay.
the people. You'll have to find it in that list. But now we're going to go to the next person as part of the Kawicki Driver Development Program. Toast! Good morning, buddy.
Good morning, Bob Dillner.
You're back.
I'm back. Yeah, I'm excited.
So what does it mean to you? Now a two-time participant of KDDP.
Oh, it's a big deal. Last year, definitely learned a lot about the program of what you got to do and what it takes to, win the cup, and definitely looking forward to chase after it again this year.
Man, talk about what it's done for you in your career and how it's made you probably a better driver, better person on and off the racetrack.
Yeah, on the racetrack, you're carrying Allen's colors, so you just try to be respectful and drive the way Allen did. This past weekend, I'd say it probably didn't do a very good job of that. Let my emotions kind of get the best of me, but that's part of racing sometimes.
Yeah, racing will happen, certainly. How would you evaluate your last year? I mean, obviously you were part of the program, and you did a lot off the track and on the track. Fill people in on what you accomplished from both realms last year.
Yeah, we won 5 races last year, which is not bad, but I definitely want to be better this year. And we did some community service stuff. That's one thing I definitely think I need to do better at this year. And just between that and my social media stuff, just getting the words out there, what we're doing, and how it's all going. That's 2 things I definitely feel like I need to improve on for this year being a part of the program.
Hey, did I hear you're tutoring some young talent as well and helping some other drivers at the racetrack?
Yeah. I got a developmental program that we're doing over at the Carroll Speed Shop. Kind of started last year. We won the track championship with Jacob Hefner at Hickory Motor Speedway, and he's running with me again this year. And he's already got a win. He got a win before I did, so I think that's pretty cool. At opening night at Hickory Motor Speedway, so looking for us to both have success throughout the year.
Yeah, you've been running with the Cars Tour here lately. Talk about how you've been running with them. You haven't quite had the success that we've seen from you in the past. What do you need to do to get back to victory lane this year?
Honestly, I feel like we just need a little bit of luck. We've brought fast race cars to both the car store opener and also this past weekend at Hickory, and it seems like one thing or another happens, and just haven't had the luck. So got spun at Southern National early in the race and had to battle back from that to the 10th place finish. And then this past weekend, just riding, saving tires, and guy cut down on me and pretty much just ruined the rest of the night for us there. The motor started overheating, so we had to call it a night. So hopefully we can just get a little bit of luck on our side, and we'll get back in victory lane.
Lori Winchell just came on social media and said congratulations to you, Justin Carroll. Brad Souza congratulated D. Griff. There's a lot of comments coming in, and if you have any questions for Justin Carroll or anybody else here on the Morning Bullring, certainly send them in through our realms of social media, whether it's the Facebook Live post that we're doing with this broadcast here today on the 5-Star Race Car Bodies Facebook feed, or on our Twitter account presented by PFC Brakes. Let us know, if you want to say attaboy, congratulations, or if you have any questions as well, certainly send them in for any of the drivers that we have on the Morning Bullring. In social media, you mentioned that's kind of like a double-edged sword, though, isn't it, Justin? Because, man, there's some haters out there. It's a good thing, but at the same time, you got some haters out there that'll just, really just get on at any time.
Oh, yeah, for sure. You definitely got to be careful what you say out on the social media world nowadays. I mean, it seems everybody has social media, so just got to be careful with, how you say things, especially if you have conflicts or anything the race prior or, whatever is kind of going on in that situation. But, yeah, you definitely got to, watch what you say. But, yeah, part of it.
10 total late model stock car wins in your career. Have you ever thought of venturing out at all? I know you're 23. You're kind of getting old now, dude. You're still in the draft. You're still 25 years or younger, but you're not as young as we see some of these people coming through the ranks. Do you have visions of going anywhere at any time? Or are you just happy with doing what you're doing?
Well, wait, hold on one second. Did you say 24? Because I'm 22, about to turn 23.
Oh, see, I have 23 on my list in front of me.
Don't call him old, Bob.
So 22-year-old Justin Carroll is who we're talking with on the Morning Bullring. So, again, 22 or 23, you're still on the upper side of the development echelon. So, because we're seeing these kids 14 years old. Yeah. Taylor Gray won at Hickory Motor Speedway this past weekend. What are your visions on where you'd like to be, or are you just happy doing what you're doing?
Honestly, it'd be awesome to, get further up in the ranks of racing, but I am truly happy racing late models. We've had so much fun doing it. This year has been a lot of fun already, even though we haven't had the luck that, we would hope for so far. But we've had a ton of fun, and I truly love racing late models at late model stock level. Just a ton of fun. There's a great group of guys out there and drivers. So, if that's what I do for the next however long I want to race, that's perfectly fine with me. We're having a blast.
Dude, you've come a long way since the Bando days. I'll just tell you that.
For sure.
Justin Carroll, part of the Kawicki Driver Development Program this year. We'll see you at the racetrack, buddy.
Awesome. Thank you, Bob.
Justin Carroll on the line with us here on the PFC Performance Hotline. Good kid, great personality, and is getting better and better at the driving with each lap that he turns.
Yeah, and they're a family-driven team. Whole family's there at the racetrack every weekend, and he's just a person that you kind of have to root for every time you see him at a racetrack.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. We're going to come back with more from the Kawicki Driver Development Program when the Morning Bullring returns. In the meantime, Keith LaJoy is going to have another sip of coffee, and I'm going to have some water here.
I'm out of
You're
coffee.
out. Go get some coffee. Let's go. We'll be right back.
Speed 51's Video Network, where the battles are legendary. Get the full picture on short track racing. We'll take you behind the scenes.
You couldn't get it on your phone, Mark.
Your track, your driver, your sport, your passion. Dirt, late models, modifieds, and more.
race highlights, recaps, interviews, and thousands of on-demand videos. Speed 51 Network, short track racers' home for the best video coverage.
Hey race fans, download the new Speed51.com app today. Breaking news, feature stories, the Unfiltered podcast, live race coverage, schedules, and more right at your fingertips. Download it today on iTunes and the Google Play Store.
Rise and shine, it's Bullring time, and we will be with you each and every Monday morning. Bob Dillner and Casey LeJoy with some of the brightest stars of our sport.
A stacked field.
Big Money, Matt Hirschman, Ross Bales, Kyle Busch, Christian Eckes, Burt Myers, Devin Morgan, Augie Grill.
Look scared. Look at
Ryan Priest, Christopher Bell for the second straight week. Ben Rowe, Nick Hoffman. Boom! Boom!
It's done.
No.
Yeah.
Bottom line. Anyway,
It's a shop mixture.
last week we talked about changing diapers with Bubba Pop, and I'm literally in a state of disbelief. So I have a few big guns down there. Brandon Paul, Zach Evans, Darrell Canfield, Alec Jorgensen. Kyle, where are you?
You got your man Mamba here.
I started my own short track team. I think it was 2007.
No, I'd probably tongue it.
Use your 5-second friendship.
Big development. Getting close to the top of the hour here on the Morning Bullring, talking short track racing from all over America. I am Bob Dillner alongside of Casey LeJoy, just having a good time. And what better to talk about while people are having their coffee, even though you're out, brushing their teeth, having their breakfast, than short track racing.
That's right. I mean, more of it goes on every single weekend. And honestly, we could probably talk. Well, we do run overtime most of the time. It's probably why there's so much short track racing that we've never finished on time. I don't think.
We came close last week.
Well, that's because I wasn't here.
That's right. You know, Brandon Ernest from Ernest Performance was on as the co-host. He replaced you last week.
Yep.
He didn't want to get into any controversies, I'll tell you that.
Man. Sometimes you just got to do it. Sometimes you just got to do it. You got to put people on the spot.
I'd look at Brandon and I'd say, you have any questions for this guy? And he's like, no, not really.
No, you carry the show. I do that to you most of the time, but I like to stir the pot every now and then.
Yeah, we like when you stir the pot. Hey, we did have a question a little while ago. Neither one of us was at Hickory this past weekend, but you kind of alluded to it. Michael Klein wanted to know what we think of the call from the Hickory Super Late Model race on Saturday. Yeah. My answer to that is I didn't officially see it, Michael, so I can't say just yet. Pit Row TV has the live broadcast of the Cars Tour races. I will look forward to actually just looking at that situation. And a couple of people on Twitter were comparing it to some other incidents that happened in years past. Yep. But I don't have a personal opinion on it yet because I was in the mountains on Saturday night, honestly, with the family. And then on Sunday, I was at Cherokee Speedway. So I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, and, you know, it's one of those things where we haven't read the Cars Tour rule book. So
say that 10 times fast.
Exactly. So it's not like we can 100% comment on it and know everything. But, you know, it's a sticky situation. And I saw somebody, you know, replying to Matt Weaver, or Weaver replying to somebody that the incident did happen with, I believe it happened with Lane Riggs a couple years ago or last year. And, you know, a different call had been made. But I think they ended up getting that explanation after that night. So maybe it's just something we overlooked or haven't seen yet. If somebody wants to point us out, I think they had addressed the situation. Maybe I would assume they couldn't leave there that night without addressing the situation.
And I know Chris Regal, the series director, addressed it to some degree for sure. But you know, I'll take a look at the video. I'll see, you know, compare the rule book and that sort of thing. But Michael, right now, no answer, at least from us, because we did not see what occurred there. Madison Mabry, Elgin Statboy Trailer, they were there at the racetrack.
Statboy.
We should actually maybe call them, but heck, Elgin's at work right now.
Yep.
Anyway, let's get back to the Quickie Driver Development Program and make our next call here on Speed 51. Mark, without further ado, give him a jingle.
The look you just got from
I did. Kendra Adams, now welcome her back, and we are going to have her introduce the next member of the Quickie Driver Development Program.
Hello?
Hey, Danny?
That's me.
You are live on the Morning Bullring. Good morning.
Hi, Kenny.
Hi. How are you?
Pretty good now, I think.
I was going to say, I bet you'll be a little bit better after we tell you that you are a 2019 finalist for the Quickie Driver Development Program.
Oh, that's awesome. That's really good to hear.
Hey,
and, hearing your voice is pretty nice, too.
Let me just set this up a little bit, of course, okay? Danny and Kendra are dating, so a little romance here on the Morning Bullring. We need some, romantic music or something like that. Mark's got to be better on the ball game with this music and the sound drops and so forth.
He's just going to replay Mighty Mouse.
There you go. But here's what we're going to do here. Because the two of them are dating, we're going to allow Kendra to interview Danny, because nobody knows Danny better, other than maybe his parents or whatever, but nobody knows him better than our lovely Kendra.
You're very sweet, Bob. Thank you. So tell us about what you have going on this year for your racing program.
So this year we're going to try to defend our 2018 NASCAR Whelen All-American Series Provincial Championship once again at Sunset. So we'll be there, and then we're breaking into the APC United Late Model Tour as well, which tours around Ontario. And we're hoping to do a little bit more touring, maybe venture into the States a little bit. You never know. Obviously, with this program backing me now, it's going to be a huge help.
That's awesome. And tell me a little bit about what you hope to achieve representing, Alan's legacy in the program.
It's definitely an honor to be able to represent Alan. He was so big in our sport, and I really feel like I can relate to him a lot. We're a pretty small team, so that means a lot to me. Just to have his backing and to have the support of all the other drivers. So it's going to be a great year.
And being the only Canadian to make the finalist this year, how does that put a different spin on your your finalist position?
It's definitely a bit of a spin. Yeah, you know yourself, Kenny. It's hard to break in being a Canadian. There's definitely a bit of a barrier there. So not many guys have been able to do it. So this program is really going to help with that and help get my name out there. And hopefully people learn a little bit, about me, who have probably never even heard of me. So hopefully through this program, it just kind of gets my name out there and opens some opportunities.
Hey, Danny, I got to say that Tom Roberts sent me an email last night because we were talking about this program, and we had to be prepared for today. So when I was done with Cherokee Speedway and the dirt late model race there yesterday, I looked at the information that I had, and Tom sent a note, and I hope he doesn't mind that I share this at all, but, obviously not a lot of people outside of Canada, I'm not saying nobody, but not a lot of people know about Danny Benedict, okay? And he said one of the things that helped you, honestly, get on this program was maybe that little push that your girlfriend Kendra gave you as well, because you became very active on a lot of different fronts and trying to promote this. So, what does that mean to you to have her on your side to help push you into this program?
It really means everything to me. We're a team, really. Everything we do it together. So she definitely gave me a big kick in the butt with the social media side, and basically said, what are you doing? You got to get on this a little bit better. So she taught me a couple things, told me what to do, what to say, kind of deal, and really just gave me that push that I needed.
Danny, I got a serious question for you. You've been calling Kendra Kenny this whole time. Do we have permission to call Kendra Kenny, or is that just like a couples thing?
Well, I call her Kenny, but I call her Kenny with a Y at the end, but her dad calls her Kenny with an IE at the end. So if you can think of a couple other letters maybe at the end, then maybe it'll be all right, but it can't be Kenny with a Y. That's all mine.
That's respectable.
So, Kenny, I have a question for you. Okay. What does it mean to you to have Danny as part of this program this year?
Honestly, I think that it's amazing. I'm so proud of him. I'm really glad that he could apply semifinalist and then make it to the finalists. This is my third year applying, so just knowing that the board believes in him just as much as I do. I might be a little biased, but just knowing that they believe in him to, go and make him a finalist, and he has a lot of credentials, and I'm really excited to be supporting him and helping him this year.
That is pretty cool. And by the way, Danny, you actually said something that kind of caught my interest just a second ago, and that you might venture to the States and run some races. What's in the cards this year? What you thinking?
Well, you never know. I told my crew chief Dale Shaw that if we get in, we might be able to venture down and see. He really wants to go to Hickory. He ran there once, so might go down there. I really want to do the Snowflake, so that would be my first choice. But obviously, it's a whole team thing. We'd have to kind of decide as a team. So we'll see how it goes. See how the season goes. This is my first year in a pro late model, so really got to see how that's going to take off. Hopefully we're good right out of the box, but we'll see. It is a new car, so new cars blues do happen. So hopefully the season goes well, and we'll kind of see what's in plan.
So explain to me a little bit, for somebody who does not have all the knowledge of the short track racing realm in Canada. You mentioned, in a pro late model now. Well, we know pro late models, we know super late models, we know late model stocks, we know limited late models. What does the scene look like up in Canada right now with what divisions that you guys have up there?
So our pro late model, it kind of actually died about 5 or 6 years ago. We didn't have many cars, and then this ABC United Late Model Tour started, and they all started coming out of the woodwork. So I think they got, 35 or 40 cars registered. As for what the cars look like, they're basically the same as the pro late models you find in the States. Most of them run crate motors, either Chevrolet or a Ford, and most of them, the big race in Canada they have with the Canadian Short Track Nationals, sorry. So that'll have a lot of guys come up, and they're very similar cars.
So are there any supers up there at all?
We do have super lates, but they're outlaw body super lates, so there's no template body supers. With that being said, chassis is very, very similar, and all it would take is an engine and maybe some shocks, and I think you could run as a template super late.
So here's what we're going to do. Okay, we're going to say that if you win a pro late model race this year and you are able to switch that engine, we will invite you to the Speed 51 Super Select at Lucas Oil Raceway outside of Indianapolis. Would that be a challenge you would consider accepting?
That would definitely be something I would consider accepting. I just got to find a super late motor somewhere.
We might be able to work on that for you a little bit too. We might be able to help you out with that.
Bob's got connections.
Yeah, we got connections, baby. We got some connections for sure. But Danny, just getting back to this deal here. I mean, being part of this program, being from Canada, we've addressed those things. Alan's legacy, all part of things. Now, what do you plan on doing outside of the racing realm to help your cause this year?
So we got some pretty cool things planned. Kendra and I already have one charity event planned. It's called the Rope for Hope. It's for the Make-A-Wish Foundation out of Toronto. It takes place on June 7th. We'll be rappelling down a 30-story high building. So that'll be a lot of fun. And then outside of that, too, I want to work a little bit with my community. I'm from a really small town. It's just over 1,000 people. So to have the opportunity to do something there means a lot to me. And then I'm also hoping to work a little bit with the Cancer Foundation. Cancer's had a really big part in my life. I've lost a couple family members from it. So to have the backing from Kowicki is definitely huge. It's going to make some of that stuff more possible this season, so I'm really looking forward to it.
All great things for sure, but I want to get back to that rappelling down, a 30-story deal here. You listen, I'm Kendra Adams' agent here, and I don't know if I approve of this here, Danny. I'm a little bit nervous.
Hey, Bob, I've
Yes.
already done it, actually.
Oh, no.
I did it in 2017. Very scary. Danny actually works from Heights. He is a linesman for Hydro One up in Canada, but obviously, he's not afraid of heights because he works super high up, so it's going to be no problem for him. but we'll send you some video of how scared I get even doing it the second time.
We'll put it on the morning Bullring. Definitely need that video.
Yep.
Like I said, I think Kendra has called me like, one of her dads here in the United States, because, I'm not old, I'm like middle-aged, but at the same time, she could be my daughter.
You know what? That video might be so entertaining that you should put it on the network, because then it'll draw people to the network.
Yeah, but maybe we could, Danny, can we do it live? Can we do that like
yeah.
live when she's rappelling down the building, or are you
send
doing it together?
We'll send Alec to go do it.
Yeah. We'll send Tom up there.
Need
Maybe we'll
someone
have
with a
like
passport.
wireless GoPros and stuff. I think that'd be cool.
I got a couple cameras. I could maybe make that happen.
All right. All right. Well, Danny, congratulations to you. We just appreciate you coming on, and I thought that was just a neat touch, you and Kendra being able to discuss it here on the Morning Bullring.
Yes, thank you guys so much. I'm really looking forward to it.
You got it. Absolutely.
Congratulations.
Absolutely. We have, I believe, just one more person to go. We're going to talk to them here just momentarily. Kendra, don't go away. I think that was really neat, you being able to talk to Danny. And I will say this, okay, because I don't get that sentimental, and, I'm not, I don't like the romance and all that stuff. But I could tell the connection that you guys have. That's pretty awesome. I will say that from the bottom of my heart.
I think that you're lying when you say that you don't, get sentimental because every time I'm on here, you're like, oh, your background's you and Danny. Talk about him. Oh, why don't you interview Danny? Oh, happy Valentine's Day to your boyfriend. But yeah, no, I'm really lucky to be able to be in like a professional setting where I still get to have that little personal touch. I'm really, really lucky.
And here's the thing, okay, Casey.
Yep.
We need to talk a little bit about Kendra, okay? Because Kendra was Kendra, sorry, now I'm mixing Kenny and Kendra. But she was a semifinalist for this. She didn't make the top 7, okay? I told her in a break a little while ago because I wanted her to get through the news and so forth, and I didn't know how she'd take it. And then I said, I just threw it on her. She didn't know she was going to interview her boyfriend, Danny, who made the program. I will say from my standpoint and from the bottom of my heart, I am so proud of Kendra in the person that she is, the racer that she is, and also the talent that she is, because she has been a blessing for Speed 51. And to show her professionalism here and what she just did when she could be upset and maybe even ticked off that she didn't make it, that was an incredible performance by a young Kendra Adams.
If you told me I didn't make it, laptop would be closed, and
I'm
out the door.
Out the door for sure. So, Kenny, we're very proud of you.
Thank you. You get me a little, I might tear up just from those really sweet words that you just said. Thank you, Bob. It means a lot.
10-4. Tell you what, we'll come back. We'll regain our composure here on Speed 51's Morning Bullring and come back with another member of the Kawicki Driver Development Program. That's next here on the Morning Bullring. Short track talk. Are you getting worn out? We are from talking, but we hope you're enjoying the show.
The Boars Compact Touring Series is a 4-cylinder front-wheel drive mess, and it's coming to a track near you. A dozen races in 3 different states in 2019 will keep the 4-cylinder fans buzzing with excitement. The famed Lucas Oil Raceway and other trips too.
Anderson, Shady Bowl, Toledo, Fairfield,
Winchester, plus it's Bristol, baby, returns on May 31st.
Race fans, if you enjoy grassroots short track racing, then Richmond Raceway is the place for you this weekend. It's the inaugural Past Commonwealth Classic under the lights on Saturday, March 30th at Richmond Raceway. See North America's best short trackers, including past super late models, the ground-pounding tour type modifieds, act late models, street stocks, and mini stocks. It's the stars and cars of short track racing this Saturday afternoon. Racing for nearly 400 laps of intense action. And fans, every grandstand ticket gets you closer to the action in the DC Solar Fan Grounds. For more info, go to ProAllStarSeries.com. Don't miss it.
As I always say, rise and shine if you're not risen at this point. It's 9:14 in the morning, approaching the end of our show. We still have 2 more people to announce for the Kawicki Driver Development Program. And we're going to go straight to the PFC Performance Hotline for this one and dial up our next person that will be part of the KDDP this year.
I feel like I got to do this dance every time it plays.
I got my Mighty Mouse pin on, for sure. Let's see if this person answers. We might have needed to call this person earlier because this person might be in school, to tell you the
I'm
truth.
just hoping I dialed the right number.
Yeah, me too, kind of.
I didn't really have a contact.
We know your
with it.
fat fingers sometimes.
Yeah.
We did that one other time.
Tiny but powerful.
On this program.
Chiquita Pero Ponderosa.
Leave me a message.
Nope.
Nope, I don't think so. I don't think that was it. We might have to try again.
That's the number I have.
That was?
I just double checked and it's right.
It is?
Yep.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I don't know.
Who was that voicemail? I didn't hear whose name it was.
It was, well...
No, well, we can't say.
Yeah, we can't say
Well,
yet.
I know who we're calling, but did the voicemail say the name that we were calling?
We were talking over it, so I didn't hear it.
You want to dial it up once again and we'll really
Sure.
listen this time? Why not?
All
We'll
right.
try it again. Raw,
Calling
live.
right now. Calling right now.
Absolutely.
We'll all be quiet.
Listen.
Hello?
Is this Luke?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, there we go. We thought we had the wrong number. You're live on the Morning Bullring on Speed 51.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was just watching. I was like, oh, that might be my dad's phone. So I went and grabbed it.
Okay.
Good call.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, congratulations. We had to call
Thank
you
you, thank
twice, but sometimes it's twice as nice. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. It's a huge part of my career to be in this, and I'm really looking forward to start off the year down in Plover at Golden Sands. So ready to get it started and get going.
15 years old. You are the youngest member on the Kawicki Driver Development Program this year. How does that make you feel?
It's probably a bit tougher around these guys like Derek Griffith and all these other guys like Paul Schaefer. He's pretty good around here, but it should be an interesting year, and I'm ready to get started.
I mean, talk about the influence that they've had, obviously going through this program more than once. Talk about how they've really helped you out and been an influence to you and really help you thrive in this program.
Yeah, I really watch those guys like tracks where I've never gone before, and I learned from them and watch how they wheel around there. So that really helps me around the racetrack, and even off the track, they're a really big influence. So that's awesome.
For people that don't know Luke Fenhouse, and am I saying your last name correctly? We were debating that here. Is it Fenhouse?
Yes,
Okay.
you are.
All right, I thought so.
It's like Stenhouse.
There you go. Yeah, exactly. But, in terms of what you've done, you were the late model track champion last year at State Park Speedway. You beat Justin Mondyke for the title there at that racetrack. 5 wins to your credit last year. Now you're part of the Kawicki Driver Development Program. So I understand you're going to defend your title again at that track in Wausau, Wisconsin?
Yeah. Hopefully we can do it again. It was a heck of a battle the last 2 races. We had a wreck there that we had to go to a different car and get that ready. So we got that ready, and we went to win went to win the first championship. And then we're gonna try to do it again.
So what happened there last year that you had to go to another race car, because that's something you don't want to do with just a couple of races remaining?
Yeah. I think the third to the last race, we were passing for the lead, and something broke, and the oil line broke, and it just splattered everywhere, and I lost control into turn 1 and backed it into the wall, and it was a rear clip. So, yeah, we had to go to that other car, and then we went on from there.
What makes State Park Speedway, of course, the Wimmer family owns that racetrack in Wausau, Wisconsin, but what makes that place special and very tough as a challenge?
I think one of the reasons is it's really hard to pass. It's tough through 1 and 2, getting off at 2, it's pretty hard. But 3 and 4 is a little tricky too. You got to have your bump stop package down for that one, and it's a tough one to get around.
So in terms of this Kawicki Driver Development Program, are you going to lean on Justin at all? Are you buddies? Can you talk to him? He finished second last year in the program after a couple of years together with it. What are you going to solicit in terms of advice from Justin, a guy that you've battled with on the racetrack, to help you compete in the Kawicki Driver Development Program this year?
Yeah, he knows a lot about it. He obviously he might have won it last year if he would have won the championship. So he has a good choice at running there and getting around places. So that'll be a big help for me.
Yeah, man, you're getting some congratulations on Facebook from Clayton Phillips. A lot of guys happy for you. But, man, Luke, you sound fired up this morning, really fast talker this early. I think you talk faster than me and Bob put together. Is the being accepted into the KDDP next round like the best cup of coffee you ever had, or are you just generally a morning person?
No, I got up just for this. So I'm on spring break, so I was sleeping, but then I watched it and I was getting ready and I was getting a little worried towards the end there, but we made her and I'm really happy.
Well, wait a second. Spring break, Wisconsin, It's like March.
Bro.
How is it spring break?
Yeah, it actually warmed up a couple weeks ago to about 40s. It got to 50s a couple times, so it's getting there.
I thought he was just
going
to say 4.
So do you have snow back on the ground?
Yeah, there's still snow.
So what does a Wisconsinite that's 15 years old do during spring break then when there's still snow on the ground?
Well, right now we are finishing our car, but we race April 30th or somewhere around there. So we're getting ready for that one at the Golden Sand Speedway. That should be a good one.
So what's the shop like, for you? What car are you building right now? Paint the picture for us in terms of, how do you get prepared for the upcoming season?
Yeah, we're with Wes Kuhn Motorsports, and Tom Ress is my crew chief, so he's a big help. But we have a victory circle. We run. We've always ran that. Wes has always ran that. So I think they're a really good car, and I'm happy to get the season started with them.
So a couple of congratulations coming in for you. Clayton Phillips, one of them, saying congrats to Luke. Danny Benedict getting some congratulations as well from Brendan Adams, as well as Margaret Adams. A little connection there. But, a lot of people are going to be very proud of you and what you're able to do this year. And a lot of focus, a lot of spotlight is going to be on you as well. Are you ready for that spotlight?
I think I'm ready. I'm excited to get the season started, like I said. But it's going to be a heck of a year. We're running some bigger races, so it should be interesting.
On track wise, a lot of these drivers that are part of this program do a lot of charitable work. What are in the cards for you in terms of what you want to do this year?
Yeah, we're going to do JoJo's Jungle. They help a lot with helping disabled kids. And it's just a big group around here in the Midwest, so I'm really excited to get the season started with them and help them throughout the summer.
Casey, here's one of the things that I just can't believe. If you look at the notes on Luke Fenhouse,
Yep.
He's a high school freshman, dude.
High school freshman.
High school freshman. He's already a track champion. I mean, things that I wanted to accomplish in life that I never got to accomplish.
Right, and he's a freshman.
Yes.
Yeah.
What were you doing as a freshman in high school?
Probably
don't want to know.
You know.
No, you were a Pro Challenge driver or a Bando driver or something.
I think
at that
Bando
point.
is still freshman.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's
Bando.
incredible.
Luke, times have changed.
Yes, times have changed indeed. And Luke, you have a great opportunity. We wish you the best of luck this year, and of course, carrying on Alan Kawicki's legacy is part of this program as well. What do you plan to do to honor him?
We're gonna run a lot around here, obviously for Alan and around here where he ran the Slinger Nationals and maybe the Dixieland. We're not sure yet, but he was a big impact towards all of our crew, and he's a big racer around here. So we're ready to give back and go from racing around here and help him and hopefully lead with his back.
There you go, Luke Fenhouse on the Morning Bullring. Congratulations, and now you can just rest easy because we let you go for a long time on this program without announcing your name.
Thank you, guys.
All right, the Morning Bullring here, 9:24 in the morning. Casey, we have one more person to announce.
One
mo. And it's a big one for sure. Coming up on the other side of the break, we're going to be talking to the final member of the Kwiecki Driver Development Program for 2019. We always enjoy listening, watching, talking with this gentleman here. That's coming up next on the Morning Bullring.
Speed 51's video network, where the battles are legendary. Get the full picture on short track racing. We'll take you behind the scenes.
He's just a meathead. He's always the same way.
Your track, your driver, your sport, your passion. Dirt, late models, modifieds, and more. Race highlights, recaps, interviews, and thousands of on-demand videos. Speed 51 Network. Short track racers' home for the best video coverage.
You got to love Monday mornings. Isn't that right, Casey?
That's right.
Are you sure?
Well, considering after I leave here, I have to go to the dentist.
Dentist and then go to the shop and weld some seats together?
Oh, yeah. It's going to be a great Monday.
Of course, the Joy of Seating, one of the proud sponsors of Speed 51. Love being part of the LaJoy family. We have Casey LaJoy on here. That has nothing to do with the sponsorship or anything. We just like Casey, so that's
right.
why he's there. He does a lot of our reporting and camera work now. That stellar camera work on our live broadcast of March Madness from Cherokee Speedway yesterday.
I feel like I had moments where I was good and then a lot of moments where I messed up.
What did you hear when you messed up?
You went... You weren't clear, 3. You're clear now.
But Kendra, you said one of your favorite moments actually was a mistake of mine that you heard on the radio yesterday.
It was. Oh, am I? Yeah, I'm unmuted. Okay. It was one of my favorite things. I'm just, minding my own business, and I hear over the radio, "Oh, stupid polls, Bob." Okay, and then he just went back to it, and it was just. I thought that was just hilarious because even the best mess up sometimes.
Oh, I don't know about that, but yeah, it's just what we try to do, and this is something that people don't know, and you've gotten to know, and Mark Keeler, you've been part of this, and we do site surveys, if at all possible, at these racetracks. And we analyze the racetrack, and Scotty McLemore, who is just an unbelievable director from MAV TV and Lucas Oil Production Studios, has really taught me a lot. And we go to the track, and we look at the track at the different spots, and you have your normal spots, camera 1, camera 2 up on the roof, camera 3 over there in turn 1-ish, okay, and then camera 4 inside or out of turn number 3, which is weird because you call camera number 4 in turn 3, and camera 5 is usually roving at some place, but we really try to paint the racetrack in the best possible way. But some of these racetracks, and Cherokee Speedway has been around for a very long time, were built when TV wasn't a consideration.
Nope.
And there's poles, and you don't want to get poles in the shots, wires in the shots, and there's always wires hanging down. So we do our best to try to eliminate some of those things to get a better picture.
I thought you were going to say, we do our best to paint the racetrack, but yesterday Cherokee painted us.
Yeah, they did. They did.
But if anybody out there is building a racetrack, just do us one favor. All light poles on the outside of the racetrack and all cables buried underneath it.
Yes.
That would be the ultimate setup for TV, and it would make lives so much easier.
Yeah, but, you can't blame the racetracks at all.
Oh, no, I'm saying if they have new ones that they're building, if
Yep.
you're building a new one, just take that into consideration. That would help.
And you know what we love about all the tracks that we're working with this year, both from a Speed 51 perspective and a Short Track America perspective on MAV TV, they want to know how they can do better, what they can do. Five Flags Speedway is we've been broadcasting there for years, and MAV TV comes in and talks to them about maybe some things that they can change, and they're already, Tim Bryant and his staff is looking at those things. Scott Childress looking at things for Cherokee Speedway. The folks from, Scott Tripp and everybody from Lakeview Motor Speedway in South Carolina, they have built structures built structures because they have 2 MAV TV shows this year with Short Track America, both with the UMP style modifieds on May 18th at that track on the way to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. So if you're going on vacation, make sure you stop by Lakeview Motor Speedway. And then June 29th will be the Ultimate Supers at that racetrack. That too will be a broadcast on Short Track America. A lot more will be announced here either this week or next week in terms of the entire 20 race schedule on Speed 51 Short Track America on MAV TV this year. I know we're all excited for it.
We are excited. And I'm going to kind of go to a side note. I was complaining about my Monday morning. Of course, my fiance texted me. She said it's
Your
always
face
a
is
good.
red.
I know. She said it's all. Well, I think I got burnt. It's either probably burnt or it's still
It's just still red clay.
Red clay. She said it's always a good Monday when you're engaged to me. So
that is true.
Is that her speaking for herself or you speaking for
probably
yourself?
her just chewing my butt for complaining. That happens.
But that's a good lady right there.
That is.
That's a good lady. Angie does the same with me, and love her. And we have some good ladies behind us here for sure.
You have to.
So absolutely. So let's do the final call right now for the Kawicki Driver Development Program. We got the music playing. Mark Keeler is playing with his phone again, dialing it up. Let's see if this person is awake because it's still pretty early where this person is from. Let's see.
We need like a Robbie Harvey.
He has a connection to Danny Benedict, by the way.
Who's it gonna be?
He works on or used to work on those high wire things. Yeah, lineman. Uh-oh, we might have to leave a message. It's 6:30 where he's at.
Maybe he's.
Your call has been forwarded to an automated voice messaging system.
You sure you got the right number? Because you dialed Luke's dad's number. There's
No,
two
that's the one
numbers
we
on
have
that
on
list.
file. Oh.
Okay. All right. Well,
What do you want to do?
Let's call him one more time.
Try
It-
it.
it- Second time was a charm.
Worked for Luke.
Here, you guys just wax poetic. I'm going to make sure I have the right number.
Okay, we're going to wax poetic. So what are you looking forward to coming up here in the next month or so on the short track racing schedule?
I'm looking forward to finding out if I'm going to Richmond or Pensacola.
I will let you know at the end of the day.
Either way, I'm excited. I like going down to Five Flags, seeing Tim Bryant and all the staff down there.
So who would you rather drive with? Would you rather drive with Tom Ryan to Richmond or Mark Keeler to Pensacola?
That's a good question, Casey.
You know what?
He's
I'm
gonna
going to
say
plead
Zach.
the fifth. I'm going to plead the fifth.
Or Zach Evans,
We're
who has not
calling
been
again.
mentioned on this show yet.
No. Okay.
Oh, you said no.
No, we're gonna pick Tom.
Tom.
He's less road raging.
Oh, so Mark's road ragey. Zach is slow on the highway. Is
Zach's
what you
cautious.
told me. That's a proper way to say it. We're gonna leave him a message this time if he doesn't answer, and then we're gonna dial up Tom Roberts if this guy doesn't answer here.
Overtime.
Yep, just by a couple minutes.
Patrick Hayes just going off in our.
Your call has been forwarded.
You ready to
an
leave a
automated
message?
voice
Yeah, let's do
messaging
it.
system.
Okay.
7.
Oh, can't play the phone number,
Can't
so
play-
just give it a minute. I don't want to broadcast
Okay,
his phone
there you
number.
go. Okay, should be done.
All right.
The
Bring it up.
mailbox is full.
We're
I
good.
cannot
Oh, the
Oh, boy.
Oh
That's
my!
incredible.
That could only happen to us.
is hysterical.
So what do we do now?
So I got to see if you have the same number that I have for him, because he does have two numbers. So I'm going to send you the number that I have just to make sure that.
Okay, because there's only one on the sheet.
I know. There we go. I'm going to share the contact with you right now. It's coming to you. As long as my phone cooperates right here. You ever go to sharing and it just takes a while for it to go?
Yep.
No.
I don't know why it does that.
Casey gets all the brand new stuff, so
Listen,
he doesn't
I
have
just
those issues.
I had my other iPhone for like 3 years, and I just got a new one. So
By the way, we failed to mention earlier that there was the big SRL race out at Irwindale this past weekend.
where's our news person?
Our news person should
Kenny?
get back. She's ready to go and leave. Does she have her backpack on? No, she's just cold. She's got her jacket on.
Jacket's
That's
on.
what it is. She's cold down in North Carolina, yet she's heading back to Canada.
I'm not cold. It's just like this is the outfit.
It's
you
comforting.
know?
So who won the race out at Irwindale? Do we know?
Preston Peltier.
There you
I always
go.
want to say Peltier every time I see
Peltier.
his
Yeah,
name.
I used to say that, honestly.
It's
I'm-
because I speak some French.
I remember-
Don't ask me to speak it though.
remember at the
really?
Derby, you called him the California kid, and then you're like, "Oh well, he's not a kid. He's not quite a kid anymore."
Well, he's from all over the place, though. He's from California. He's lived up there in like Idaho or Montana. He's lived down in Colorado. He's lived over here in North Carolina.
Yeah.
Preston Peltier, great driver, unbelievable fabricator. He worked for Hendrick Motorsports for a long time and won a lot of Big Ten races out there at Concord Speedway.
He still get it done too.
Yes, it is the same number.
Same number,
Same,
darn.
yeah.
So tell you what, let's dial up Tom Roberts. Did I get you his number? I think I did
Oh,
just a
boy.
little while ago. Let's make sure.
I might have him in my contacts.
And we'll talk to him about this driver. The last one that we are going to announce today here on the Morning Bullring. So, just a unique pick in terms of the entire program this year. I think it's 3 returning drivers in all. But Luke Fenhouse, the youngest driver, Danny Benedict out of Canada. I like the flow of what we're going to see, especially from the different regions of North America.
It's kind of ironic is this certain driver posted on Instagram and he hashtagged Morning Bullring for one of his pictures, and I said I see
Saw that,
and then he stands us up.
What do you think about that?
He's got
Kendra?
an excuse. It's a little early where he's at.
Yeah, it's pretty early, so there is that. But what I was going to say is me and my family picked our picks, and me and my mom got 4 right. So do you guys pick like before they did the announcement? I thought.
Was this bracketology for?
Yeah.
March
It is March Madness.
Yeah, exactly.
It is maddening. No, I didn't actually. I mean, yes. Well, I can't say no. Last year I did more because I think I was a little less busy last year this time of the year. But last year we were really evaluating. You heard some of the conversation in the office. This year, we haven't done as much of that. Listen, I would have picked you for sure. I don't have a dog in the fight. But at the same time, I looked at them and I figured that D. Griff was going to.
I wouldn't say outspoken, but his hair is kind of outspoken.
He's just fun.
Yeah.
Bottom line. Tell you what, let's go to the PFC Performance Hotline, and we'll allow Tom Roberts, one of the board members there leading up the Kawiki Driver Development Program. Tom, did you hear we tried to call the final member of the KDDP for 2019, and he didn't answer, and his mailbox is full.
Oh, my goodness. No, actually, I am sitting in my car in the parking lot of my optometrist, ready to go in for my annual eye checkup, and I'm sorry to hear that. But how has the show gone so far? Has it been okay? Is that the only snag you've had?
That's pretty much the only snag. I think we had to call Fenhouse twice. Because he didn't answer the first time. And the funny thing is, we've had people call Carson Quapple. We called him. He was talking from the hallway outside his classroom because he's in high school. Luke, which I thought was incredible, is on spring break. Spring break in March in Wisconsin. That doesn't sound fun at all.
Oh, my goodness.
So it's been interesting for sure. D. Griff was waiting to take a shower.
Yeah.
And we ended that conversation right there.
Yeah, we could smell his stench.
Yeah, absolutely. But the last driver that we want to talk about, and we'll announce it right now, is out of Upper Lake, California, Jeremy Das. It's only 6:37 in the morning out there. Joins the Kawiki Driver Development Program once again. Tom, what can you say about Jeremy Das?
He is a true racer. Really have gotten to know he and his dad, Mike. What's so unique about Jeremy this time around is he was part of our team in 2016 and then was a year off, and then he didn't even apply for the program, but came back and applied for the program this year. And when I thought about that, I said, he's already won the Spears Championship, and during the interview we actually asked him what kind of benefit that he think, and he said that he really thought that he could become a better, more well-rounded driver by doing the stuff off the track. He admitted that the first time around that he really didn't get it, and that he saw that, and he has witnessed what has happened in the years since, and really had a lot of accolades for all of our participants since then, and truly wanted to be one again. So it's going to be very interesting to see what Jeremy does, on and off the track this year. And, kudos to him, because there's so many of the young drivers out on the West Coast that really do look up to him. And, he's just a youngster himself, but he is really, he's really done a lot in a short period of time, and we're expecting big things out of Jeremy Doss this year.
Jeremy Doss finished fourth at Irwindale Speedway this past Saturday night for the Spears SRL Southwest Tour race there. So he's going to be a threat for that championship once again, trying to go back-to-back with that great competitive series out on the West Coast. I want to know, Tom, though, because we saw, you tell us how many, first of all, people applied for this, okay? And number two, how difficult was the narrowing down process from the semifinalist to this final 7 that you have on KDDP this year?
Well, as far as total numbers, all of the applicants, they go to my assistant, Jeff Coleth, out in Memphis, and then he sort of goes through and makes sure that there's people that apply for our program that don't even have race cars. They want to be part of the program so much. It's a grassroots scenario, but you have to have some kind of criteria to live up to, before you're actually under consideration. So we wound up with about, what was sent to me was about 50 solid candidates that fit all aspects, all the criteria. And then that's when we put it out to our board members for them to come up with their semifinalists. And the way that we started out, it was supposed to be 15 semifinalists, but it was, yeoman's labor for them to even be able to come up with 21, because there were another 21 that, would have been perfect for semifinalists. So a lot of pride should go into the fact of you were one of the 21 semifinalists. And then when it was whittling down to reach the final 7, it was the most difficult scenario that I have witnessed, in our 5-year history, and that there were ties. I think that I even put in the release. We had 4 drivers that one vote was what chose the final position of those 7. So it was that tight. And I'm just hoping that all of our 7 finalists, will kick it up a step. This is a special year for our program, with Alan, being inducted into the Hall of Fame back on February the 1st, and take that and be proud of it. And then the other semifinalists who didn't make the cut this time, go out, continue to turn heads, learn from this year, and then we hope that you'll come back and reapply for the 2020 program, this December.
Yeah, it's quite the difficult process, I could imagine. I wouldn't want to be, scratching my head for hours on hours and hours on who to pick. But Tom, explain to the people at home what's next? What's the next process? What are you guys going to be looking at just moving forward? What's next for the KDDP program?
Well, what we do now is we have to supply all of our 7 drivers with all of their necessary items: the decals, the hats, the patches. Of course, everybody is really looking forward to receiving their Mighty Mouse patch. That's something that has been very cool during during all of our program. Is something that Alan really made popular by wearing the Mighty Mouse patch. But we did it legally this time, in that we actually reached out to CBS Properties. They own the rights to Mighty Mouse, and we have a contract with them to be able to utilize it for our marketing purposes. So we do that, and then the actual contest itself, kicks off April the 1st. It runs from April the 1st till the end of October. That's the actual judging period. And what we do during the course of the year is we have a couple or three judgings, votings periods to where we come up and we utilize our special point system. Of course, you guys always get that news first, and certainly appreciate you, you putting that out there. It's great to have Speed 51 as our official media partner, and I'm always indebted we are for that. But really looking forward to a fantastic season. Let's go racing.
Hey, Tom, before we let you go, I know the next step, honestly. The next step is something that Tom Roberts likes a lot, and that is to plan some trips to visit these 7 people this year.
Bob, you got that right. Kendra, if you're listening, I've been looking forward to coming and seeing you race for so long. And, I'll be up there watching Danny, but I'll be up there cheering along, cheering for you too.
Okay, I am here, and if you come to one of Danny's races at Sunset, you'll get to see us compete against each other, or you could watch him in the APC series as well. But either way, I'm going to be looking forward to seeing you up there.
Hey, Tom, believe it or
Yes.
not, we have Jeremy Doss calling in right now. Okay, he just hung up. So we love having you, but we're going to try to squeeze. We're already into overtime, but we're going to squeeze Jeremy Doss in on this program if that's okay. So, Tom, we're going to let you go to your eye appointment.
Please do. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it, Bob.
Thank you, buddy.
Thanks, Casey. See you, Casey.
See ya. My mic was off. I pulled a bob.
I did it like 5-6 times today. $5 in the jar. Someday that's going to be some money. But Mark's got some to contribute to. All right, let's see if we can get Doss. He just called in.
Phone tag right here.
Calling him once again. Will he answer this time?
We're like,
Hello?
Doss, there you go, buddy.
Yeah, finally up.
Yes.
So 6:30, you don't get up that early, do you?
Not today.
Oh, well, congratulations. You're part of the program once again.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
No problem. So are you at the breakfast table yet?
No.
No.
Just woke up.
Just woke up.
Yeah.
Did somebody have to call you and tell you, dude, wake up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Finally.
Okay. Well, hey, 4th the other night at Irwindale. I know that's not the run you wanted, but I think this is a victory today to come back to the Kawicki Driver Development Program, something you did a couple of years ago. Why did you submit an application once again?
It's just a great program all around, and I think it's something to help better my career. And this go around, I feel like I know a lot more about the program, and just to help the community is an honor. So it's really cool to be a part of it, and I'm just really looking forward to it.
So do you have anything in store already, any plans in the works in terms of some of that off-track involvement that you're going to have that you spoke of?
Yeah. I mean, I already had some stuff started, and like even this last weekend, I went to the Ronald McDonald House and I hung out with some kids, and brought them some tickets, and it's just a humbling experience, it's just so cool to see kids like that, and how up they are, and it was just an honor to be there and to support them like that.
Jeremy, what are some things that from the first time you did this program that you regret that you can go back and redo the right way this time?
Probably just community involvement. I would say I felt like I had the racing down, and I did good in that department. I just didn't spend enough time with the community, and getting involved. And I felt like I lost a lot of points in that aspect. So I'd say that's it.
Hey, Doss, how's the season going so far for you? Are you happy right now?
No, not really. I mean, I feel like we've had really, really fast race cars. My crew chief, Dwayne Sharp, my dad, have given me really, really fast cars. We just don't have the results to show for it, I feel like. But, we'll just keep doing what we're doing, and it'll all fall into place.
What do you need to do a little bit better to get back to victory lane, to get back to, what you need to do? And are you going after this championship again in SRL, or are you still not committed to the full season?
It's still up in the air, it kind of depends on sponsorship, and then there's a couple races that conflict with
SRL that I might want to do, like the Montana 200 and maybe even the Summer Showdown. So it's kind of up in the air at the moment. I think we're going to start running probably first 4 or 5, and when the first race conflicts, we'll see where we're at points and go from there.
You know, you and Carson Quapple have a lot in common, except you run the super late model more than he does. But you also, I see, piddle around with the Mini Outlaws. How's that been going? And you know, when did you decide you're going to hop back in one of those bad boys?
It's been going pretty good. We've won our last few races. I had a sponsor come to us. He's actually a good friend of ours, Mike Lavelle. He had his grandkid and kid start getting back into go-karts, and he told my dad, "Hey, I'll pay you money to come help, or I'll get your kid a go-kart." So he said, "Get my kid a go-kart." And, it's just been really neat to just stay behind the wheel during the winter, and I think it just helps you all around, like as a driver. I mean, you see Christopher Bell, Kyle Larson, they're racing every weekend 24/7, so I think it just helps you all around.
So what are the aspirations for this year? You mentioned some of the big races, the Montana 200. Obviously, you've had success there before. You know, Evergreen with the Summer Showdown up there. There's some big races in that part of the country. We're hoping that you maybe come back to the Super Select. Come back. You were going to come, and then obviously, Hurricane got in the way there. Yeah. But what is the idea behind trying to go do some of these bigger shows, Jeremy?
We just we want to do all the big shows. Obviously, it's just funding takes that away from us. It seems like to make it back east a lot of the time, but we'll try to make as many as we can if the opportunity presents itself. I just know if you want to be the best, you got to race against the best, and sometimes you got to make your way out there. So, we'll be there if we can.
Well, Jeremy Doss, what's up next on the docket for you?
I'm thinking Roseville, All-American Speedway with the next SRL race. I think that will be our next race.
And by the way, I think we talked about this before, but I can't remember. Are you still doing the lineman deal, or are you back to driving trucks, or what are you doing right now?
I'm driving trucks, yeah, doing that and working on race cars. I kind of dropped the lineman deal for now because I didn't want to move away and give up racing. So it might be a little selfish, but I wasn't ready to give up racing, and right now I could drive trucks and race and work on race cars, and I kind of like doing that. So,
hey, you're still young. You could still do it.
Yep.
By the way, you have something in common with another member of the Kawiki Driver Development Program. You went through the lineman deal, and Danny Benedict out of Canada, he is actually a lineman as well. So when you guys get together and pal around like a lot of you Kawiki drivers do, you actually get to talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, that'll be neat for sure.
Absolutely.
I like that.
Well, I'll tell you what. We'll let you wake up the rest of the way, but we do appreciate you calling back into the Morning Bullring, Jeremy.
All right. Thanks for calling.
All right.
Yep. You guys have a good one.
You too.
Congratulations.
You can tell he was tired.
Yep, a little bit.
6:30 a.m.
Yeah, but, I got up at 5:45.
Yeah, and you had how much sleep?
4.5 hours.
Come on, Das. You probably went to bed at like 11 o'clock.
Brutal.
Yeah. Anyway, before we go, I want to bring in Alec Jorgensen once again here to the Morning Bullring. Alec, what's on tap for you? You're down there in Florida, kind of man in the deep south for us a little bit. What do you got on tap this weekend?
Going down to Pensacola, going to cover a lot of great late model racing there down in Five Flags. Really kind of looking forward to it. Get back in the sunshine, get away from this cold.
Oh, cold. Oh, my gosh. Wow. And, of course, that race will be live, a pay-per-view broadcast on speed51.com, so you can check out the Deep South Cranes Blizzard Series in action for the first time from Five Flags Speedway. If you can't make it down there to the Panhandle of Florida, you can catch it live on Speed 51 this Friday, March 29th. The following week, by the way, are you at a Wheelman Series race?
I believe I am, actually, yeah.
Where?
That'll be down at 417 Southern Speedway down in Punta Gorda, Florida. Really cool little track. Going to be a lot of fun to be shooting that for the network. Well, not just the network, but live for network subscribers.
Yeah, absolutely. He's becoming quite the cameraman, by the way. We've thrown him to the wolves last year doing a live program midway through the year, getting up on this lift, long arm lift at Cordele, Georgia. Didn't know what to expect there, and then we threw him in the middle of some trees yesterday at Cherokee Speedway.
And you threw us in the middle of nowhere in Alabama, in Op.
I did?
Yeah, you threw us into Op
Hey, I had to put you with the rattlesnakes.
I know, man. It was great.
Well, Alec,
no internet. It was awesome.
Yeah, we appreciate you. We're working on that, actually. Mark Keeler doesn't even know that. We're working on that. Malia and I spoke, actually, while I was going up to the mountains last week. So we'll hopefully have a little bit better internet there next year at South Alabama Speedway in Opp, Alabama. But, Alec, keep up the good work, buddy, you and the rest of the staff. And, we got to get you to smile a little bit more. You look too serious over there. You go. There you go.
I haven't had my coffee yet, so.
I thought you were just standing next to Mark Keeler. And Mark Keeler, this is Mark Keeler's pose. Bring back the camera right here, okay? This is Mark Keeler's pose all the time. We're going to go to the single shot here because you'll see it better. Okay, ready? All right, Mark, we're going to take a picture. That's Mark Keeler. That's it. He never smiles. Hardly ever.
It's like I like your selfies with James Essex. They're pretty spectacular because you never know what facial expression he's going to give you. It's whatever he's feeling.
Absolutely. Folks, remember, you can see all the video highlights of all the racing that we've been at over the course of every weekend, honestly, on the Speed 51 Video Network, just $9.99 a month, $79.99 a year. You can catch highlights, interviews, music videos, onboards, you name it. And there's a lot of stuff already put up from this weekend and more coming today and tomorrow on the Speed 51 Video Network. Tom Ryan and his staff, his compadres, will be very busy over the course of the next couple of days.
Still throwing in the Spanish, I
Well,
see.
hey, who was it? Who was actually learning Spanish? Quapple, that's it.
Yeah.
He was missing Spanish class.
Yeah, he wasn't learning it. He was missing it.
How do you think the Spanish teacher deals with the spelling of his last name?
Yeah, it looks like an eye chart, like Connor O'Crescent.
That would have been great on the first day.
Yeah.
But if you guys didn't watch or if anybody didn't watch the pay-per-view yesterday from Cherokee, there were a couple really wild accidents.
Benji Hicks.
Yes.
Yeah, everybody was asking me if I was scared, and I was like, really not. I mean, I was.
You couldn't see through the dust.
If
he saw the car hit the wall.
No, if a car made it up to how high I was, I mean, at that point they just deserve. They just deserve to hit me. I
You'd
don't
be
know.
folklore.
There's
at that point.
worse ways to go out.
Yeah, I mean, we knew where we put you would be okay.
I felt good.
The way you slide, you're going to slide to the kind of the middle of the turn, and you were at the entrance of the turn, so we knew you were okay. That was pretty wicked. I'm like, stay with it, stay with it.
And there's a 20-foot kind of embankment, I guess, where that's where he ended up landing.
Yes.
But everybody was like, "Are you scared?" No, he slid, and then it was just all I could see was
dust.
And then the dust cleared, and he was upside down. I'm like, whatever.
Yeah, my son Blaze had it from camera 2 as well. You and him had very good shots until the dust got in your way. And I remember getting on the radio, Blaze, did you got it? Do you have it? And he's like, I think so. And I'm like, what do you mean you think so? So we went back to his camera. Mark Keeler got the replay for us on our live pay-per-view broadcast of March Madness yesterday for Cherokee Speedway. And he had a good angle from it. Obviously he's shooting through at that portion of the racetrack from a camera 2 position. He's a little bit closer to turn 4. So he was long lens and, you had some, transporters, not transporters, but, cars and so forth in the infield. But you still, once he hit the wall, you saw him go straight over.
Yeah, it was still wild. And to be honest, to me, that wasn't even necessarily my favorite race of the day. My favorite was the first one.
Yes.
We had
Great
more
sportsman,
action,
I think.
and I looked at Bob on I think it was the third caution. I said, dude, that's only 2 laps.
Dude, you
and
like
the amount
dirt.
of action in those 2 laps. No, I like okay.
Come on,
I will
dude.
say this. 4 cylinders on dirt have more fun than I think any other race car driver
You
on
know that you've enjoyed some of it. You just don't want to admit
I
it.
enjoy it. I'm just not. It's like NASCAR versus IndyCar. A lot of people enjoy both, but you're a fan of one or the other. I'm a fan
It's
of
not true. I'm a
asphalt.
fan of everything.
We're doing
F1.
We're doing weekly,
Except for that.
weekly video content from Cherokee this year, and the Crate Sportsman, which is the race you're referencing, and the Renegades.
Yes.
Every week put on a great show. So watch on the network. Keep out for watch for Cherokee Speedway. Those 2 classes always have a straight up barn burner every Saturday night.
Makes me, every time I go to Cherokee and I see the Renegades or whatever, it makes me want to build a street stock once again. Absolutely. And I know Tom Ryan
help
wants
you.
that as well.
We'll
Our
all pitch
digital
in and help
manager
you.
for sure. Who knows? Maybe someday. But right now, that wraps up our morning Bullring show. Only about 30 minutes overtime here today, but a lot of announcements. The Kowicki Driver Development Program, if you didn't catch every one of them, you can see the story on speed51.com, plus plenty of videos to come in the next couple of days here on Speed 51 on that video network. Thanks for watching.